itu kan, untuk memberikan inilah sharing pengetahuan kepada kami di informatika, baik untuk khususnya nanti untuk mahasiswa kami sama dosen itu kan, agar harapannya bisa memberikan ya tadi gambaran secara dasar bagaimana kita memperlakukan data agar bisa kita gunakan ini. Kami berharap itu kan mungkin kegiatan ini tidak hanya berhenti di sini, hanya sekedar ini, nanti berharap kami bisa kita bekerja sama lebih lanjut, baik nanti kolaborasi dalam hal penelitian atau apa sih dengan kami ini itu kan. Demikian mungkin yang dapat saya sampaikan terkait kuliah umum ini itu kan. Mudah-mudahan apa yang kita dapatkan hari ini dapat memberikan manfaat bagi kita semua itu kan. Selamat mendengarkan, mengikuti itu kan untuk perkuliahan umum itu kan pagi hari ini itu kan. Akhir kata, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih kami sampaikan kepada Bapak Dr. Arif Puji Widodo, SSI MT selaku Ketua Departemen Ilmu Komputer Informatika yang telah memberikan sambutannya. Selanjutnya, sambutan yang kedua adalah dari Dekan Fakultas Sains dan Matematika Undip, Ibu Profesor Dr. Ridwati SSI MSI, dan mohon kepada Ibu Dekan juga sekaligus berkenan untuk membuka acara ini secara resmi. Kepada Ibu Dekan Profesor Dr. Ridwati, kami persilahkan.
Baik, terima kasih Bapak Muhammad Malik. Apakah suara saya sudah terdengar cukup baik?
Oke, cukup jelas, Prof.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang kami hormati Dr. Narinderjit Singh Sawaran Singh, Senior Lecturer. Beliau juga sebagai Koordinator Editorial Board Member Journal of Data Science, Faculty of Data Science and Informatics Technology, INTI International University. Dan juga yang kami hormati Dr. Tengku Zatul Hidayah Tengku Petra, Senior Lecturer, Faculty of Data Science and Information Technology, INTI International University. Tak lupa yang kami hormati juga Ketua Departemen Ilmu Komputer atau Informatika, Bapak Dr. Aris Puji Widodo, SSI, MSI, serta Bapak Adi Wibowo, PhD, sebagai Sekretaris Program Studi Informatika. Juga Ibu Dinar Mutiara, PhD, sebagai moderator. Seluruh dosen di Departemen Informatika dan juga seluruh dosen yang telah join di kegiatan ini dan seluruh peserta adik-adik mahasiswa yang sangat saya banggakan. Alhamdulillah, marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa karena atas limpahan rahmat dan juga hidayahnya sehingga pada pagi hari ini kita masih diberikan kesehatan dan juga motivasi yang tinggi untuk mengikuti kegiatan kuliah umum dan juga visiting lecturer. Semoga dengan kegiatan ini meskipun masih dilaksanakan secara online karena memang pandemi COVID-19 belum terkendali secara penuh, tetap kegiatan ini bisa dilaksanakan dengan baik, lancar, dan juga tentunya nanti para mahasiswa dan seluruh peserta akan dapat memperoleh wawasan yang sangat baik khususnya berkaitan dengan data analytics. Terima kasih kami sampaikan kepada kedua narasumber yang telah berkenan untuk memberikan sharing wawasan, ilmu pengetahuan. Semoga hal ini mendapatkan rahmat dan juga hidayah dari Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, sehingga semua yang akan kita laksanakan pada hari ini senantiasa dapat memajukan, baik itu di Departemen Informatika maupun di Fakultas Sains dan Matematika serta di Universitas Diponegoro pada umumnya. Bapak Ibu sekalian yang dimuliakan Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala dan juga seluruh hadirin, adapun topik kuliah umum hari ini seperti tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Ketua Departemen Ilmu Komputer adalah berkaitan dengan data analitik, yang mana secara khusus tentunya nanti akan dibahas juga tentang tren, perkembangan maupun aplikasinya saat ini. Saya selaku pimpinan Fakultas Sains dan Matematika berpendapat bahwa topik ini sangat relevan gitu ya, terutama bagi seluruh mahasiswa dan juga dosen di lingkungan Departemen Informatika dan juga seluruh peserta yang mungkin ini pesertanya banyak sekali, mungkin ada juga yang dari luar Universitas Diponegoro. Kami sampaikan selamat datang di kegiatan kuliah umum ini. Seperti sudah kita ketahui bersama, bahwasannya semua aspek dalam kehidupan kita ini bergantung pada data, ya. Orang yang mampu mengumpulkan, menganalisis, mengolah, dan menyajikan data dengan tepat, ini dapat bertindak dan berusaha untuk memecahkan masalah dengan benar, dengan valid, dan tentunya dengan output yang bagus. Saya berharap semua nanti dapat memanfaatkan event ini dengan sebaik-baiknya, sehingga dapat meningkatkan kompetensi baik dosen maupun para mahasiswa. Dan hal ini tentunya nanti bisa ditingkatkan untuk pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi serta meningkatkan kualitas dalam proses pembelajaran maupun kegiatan penelitian ke depan. Hal ini tentu relevan dengan visi Fakultas Sains dan Matematika, yang mana bahwasannya Fakultas Sains dan Matematika merupakan fakultas berbasis riset yang bereputasi internasional di bidang sains dan matematika, termasuk penerapan dan pengembangannya. Tentu kegiatan kuliah umum hari ini sangat mensupport visi maupun misi dari Fakultas Sains dan Matematika, sehingga Ibu berharap para mahasiswa nanti mempunyai visi ke depan yang bagus, sehingga dapat berkiprah baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Selain itu, kegiatan ini juga merupakan salah satu kegiatan dalam rangka mencapai target kinerja PTNBH, yaitu yang berkaitan dengan banyaknya visiting lecturer dari luar negeri yang berkolaborasi memberikan sharing wawasan di lingkungan Fakultas Sains dan Matematika. Relevan dengan tadi yang disampaikan oleh Ketua Departemen Informatika, bahwasannya ke depannya kami tetap berharap ada kerjasama yang baik, kolaborasi antara Fakultas Sains dan Matematika Universitas Diponegoro dengan Faculty of Data Science and Information Technology INTI International University. Kegiatan kolaborasi bisa dilaksanakan di bidang akademik misalnya dalam bentuk student exchange maupun staff exchange, termasuk visiting lecturer seperti saat ini. Dan juga bisa dilaksanakan dalam bentuk joint research, sehingga harapan kami nanti bisa diperoleh joint publikasi, sehingga tentunya hasilnya akan lebih berkualitas dan dapat dipublikasikan di jurnal internasional bereputasi yang tentunya nantinya bisa berdampak pada kedua belah pihak, baik di Undip maupun di INTI International University. Dampak dari joint publikasi di jurnal internasional bereputasi misalnya bisa untuk meningkatkan citasi dari masing-masing dosen maupun juga citasi by subjek di institusi baik di Undip maupun di INTI International University. Itu beberapa hal yang saya harapkan ke depannya tetap berkelanjutan untuk bekerja sama baik di bidang akademik maupun di bidang non-akademik. Itu saya kira yang bisa saya sampaikan. Terakhir, dengan mengucapkan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dengan ini saya nyatakan kegiatan kuliah umum di Departemen Informatika Ilmu Komputer dengan topik data analitik secara resmi saya nyatakan dibuka. Selamat beraktivitas, selamat berdiskusi pada kegiatan kuliah umum yang menarik ini. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Ibu Profesor Dr. Widowati SSI MSI selaku Dekan Fakultas Sains dan Matematika Universitas Diponegoro yang telah memberikan sambutan dan arahan serta berkenan membuka acara ini secara resmi. Selanjutnya, sebelum kita mulai ke acara inti, marilah kita lanjut ke acara photo session. Dimohon pada para peserta, pada Bapak dan Ibu dosen, Ibu dekan, dan kepada masa mohon untuk on cam. Monggo Pak Satrio mungkin bisa dipandu.
Iya, siap Pak. Kita hitung ya. 1, 2, baru banyak yang muncul ini Pak. Ya, 1, 2, 3. Halaman berikutnya 1, 2, 3. Ya, untuk halaman berikutnya 1, 2, 3. Dan seterusnya saya capture aja Pak Malik. Monggo saya kembalikan.
Untuk sangat pada Pak Satrio. Selanjutnya kita tiba di acara inti yaitu public lecture dengan tema data analitik yang akan dipandu oleh moderator dari dosen Departemen Ilmu Komputer Informatika, Ibu Dinar Mutiara Kusumonugrani, STM Infotech PhD. Kepada Ibu Dinar PhD, waktu dan layar kami persilahkan.
Terima kasih Pak Malik. Ya. Selamat pagi nih adik-adik mahasiswa. Dengar suara saya ya, semangat ya. Good morning, Dr. Narin. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I am fine. How are you?
We already talked in email, but I'm glad today we can meet in here.
Yeah, I'm glad to.
Oke. Sebelum kita mulai untuk kuliah, saya mau tadi sudah sebanyak diperkenalkan oleh Pak Aris, juga oleh Bu Dekan, bahwa Dr. Narinderjit Singh, Sawaran Singh ini beliau adalah senior lecturer, ya, juga salah satu koordinator editorial board member Journal of Data Science. Beliau juga adalah istilahnya memang sudah berkecimpung lama ya untuk dokter. Narin kebetulan beliau kalau kita kontak dalam bahasa Inggris, tapi di sini kita minta special request ini untuk sedikit speak in Malay, boleh dengan bahasa Inggris, jadi supaya ini mahasiswa kami bisa merasakan sedikit vibe-nya kalau kuliah di Malaysia seperti apa ini.
Okay.
Ya, gitu ya Dokter Narin, ini silakan waktu end screen is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dr. Dinar, boleh tak dengar suara saya?
Ya, kita sudah dapat lihat ini.
Okay, can you view my screen, please? Can you just confirm? Boleh confirm ke?
Okay, let me see.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
I'm sharing
I
my
already
screen.
seen your screen
Okay, okay. And you can hear my voice clearly?
clearly.
Okay. Okay, I will start now. Yeah. Okay, a very good morning. I have been told to speak in Malay, you know. So Malay in Malaysia, yeah. I will not be able to speak the Indonesian language, but definitely I will be able to speak in Malay. So when I am going to lecture today, I will be speaking in English plus Malay. Okay, so saya akan bertutur dalam bahasa Melayu. Saya harap semua di sana dapat memahami apa yang saya akan buat sharing pada hari ini. Ya. Okay, terlebih dahulu saya akan minta maaf kerana saya punya bahasa Melayu di sini tak begitu cekap. Tetapi apa saya akan buat ialah saya akan try my level best untuk bercakap dalam bahasa Inggeris dan juga dalam bahasa Melayu. Yeah?
It's okay, Dr. Narin. We're very glad if you can just speak whatever you want, because it's like di sini banyak nih mahasiswa yang mau merasakan vibe-nya juga kalau kuliah di Malaysia seperti apa. Yeah.
I see. Okay, okay. I will try to speak in both languages. Okay, terlebih dahulu terima kasih diucapkan kepada Universitas Diponegoro University yang telah memberikan peluang, this opportunity kepada saya untuk juga mahasiswi di universiti tersebut. Okay, so saya ingin mengucapkan a very good morning, selamat pagi kepada Ibu Prof. Dr. Widowati, Dekan FSM Undip University, kepada Bapak Dr. Aris Puji, Ketua Departemen Informatika FSM Undip, kepada Dr. Dinar Mutiara, Lecturer Informatics, Computer Science Department, kepada semua bapa-bapa dan juga ibu-ibu yang saya tidak dapat sebutkan nama di sini, minta maaf. Okay, dan juga kepada semua mahasiswa dan mahasiswi yang telah meluangkan masa. You have taken out your very crucial time of yours to attend to this session. Thank you so much to everyone and also to all of you who are here today for this particular session. Yeah. Okay. Terlebih dahulu saya ingin introduce myself. I would like to make a short introduction about myself. As what you can see on your screen, my name is Narinderjit Singh. Okay, and I am attached to the Faculty of Data Science and Information Technology at INTI International University. I tak tahu any one of you ada datang ke INTI International University. I'm not sure, but definitely we here as a team looking forward to have you in our INTI International University. Okay, a very detailed background about myself. I did my bachelor degree in mathematics, one of the public universities in Malaysia. Okay, namanya University Petra, Malaysia. And then I did my master's in applied statistics, juga di university yang sama. And then I did my doctorate in electrical electronic engineering. You might be asking me, doctor, you have done your bachelor degree in mathematics. You have done your master's in applied statistics. And why, a huge difference, you did your doctorate in electrical electronic engineering. So very long story. If any one of you wants to know that, you can always come back. Yeah. Okay, I have been with this education industry for almost 20 plus years. I have started my career in one of the colleges in Kuala Lumpur. It's an IT-based colleges, and then from there I went to University Technology Petronas. It's one of the private universities in Malaysia. I have served myself as a senior lecturer and also the program head, for the department for some years, for almost saya rasa 10 hingga 11 tahun. Dan saya selepas itu join INTI International University. So I have been with INTI International University for almost 9 to 10 years, as of. Okay, and if you ask me about my background, what is my research activity? Before that, maybe I think I will tell you about my teaching experience. All this while, I am teaching all the subjects for undergraduate. When I say undergraduate, bermaksud kita ada students diploma, kita ada students bachelor degree. Dan lepas itu kita juga ada student untuk postgraduate, masters, So I have been teaching, I have been assisting my postgraduate students, every subject that comes under the umbrella of mathematics and statistics. Okay? And then I also have some students under my supervision for my master's degree and also for the PhD. Okay, and coming back to my research activities, I would like to share with you, I did my doctorate in electrical electronic engineering, focusing on fault-tolerant computing. Fault-tolerant computing, itu adalah specialization saya. Okay, for example, if I put in a very simple manner, dalam apa ni orang kata dalam, if I tell you, I beritahu you dalam bentuk ataupun dalam cara yang sangat senang untuk memahami what is fault tolerant computing. Kalau kita ada satu sistem, dalam sistem itu sebenarnya ada banyak komponen. Okay, kita nak pastikan sistem itu sebenarnya perform reliably. Bermaksud kita kena pastikan untuk sistem itu function dengan baik. Semua komponen-komponen dalam sistem sepatutnya bekerja baik. Tetapi apa berlaku if one of the component dalam sistem tersebut tak bekerja? That means malfunction, breakdown. So how can this fault-tolerant computing comes into that particular situation to make sure the system still works rely. Even though there is one small little component that might malfunction or might break down, tapi macam mana kita boleh pastikan keseluruhan sistem tersebut masih lagi function dengan baik? So that is fault tolerance. Myself, I also expose into research activities like mathematical modeling, also like data modeling and optimization algorithms. Okay, exploratory data analysis. This is the branch where it leads to data analytics. Kita ada data, tapi macam mana kita boleh analyze data? Myself, I also expose into health data analysis. So these are some of the research activities that I am involved at the moment. Okay, so that's something about myself, something about my teaching, and something about my what we call research activities. And macam Prof. Dr. Widowati, Ibu Prof. Dr. Widowati ada bercakap tadi, memang INTI International Universities memang looking forward, and highly working on various type of research activities, and always looking forward to have collaboration, kolaborasi dengan universities yang lain, especially dengan University Diponegoro University. Kita akan ada di sini online symposium. For example, like what I am doing right now is considered like a guest lecture. I am delivering my lecture to you, but we also can have our friends from Undip University to basically provide their sharing their knowledge to our university. So it can be something like what we call guest lecture or something like online symposium. Okay, and now kita lebih kepada having international collaboration rather than local, because local banyak sangat, national level banyak sangat, but now we are expanding to international level. So we look forward for this type of collaboration. And we also have some industry collaboration here, some joint project collaboration, and also some joint paper collaboration. For example, kalau pak-pak di sana, ibu-ibu di sana, mahasiswa di sana, mahasiswi di sana, kalau you ada paper, paper that comes under the category of mathematics, computer science, cloud computing, business analytics, and banyak lagi dia punya bidang that falls under computer science. Yes, we can. INTI University is looking forward with all these universities to work on collaboration. INTI University is waiting to fund the people, and we work together, in terms of producing the projects, in terms of producing the. So these are some of the research activities yang memang we are working thoroughly with our colleagues here in Malaysia, and juga dengan banyak lagi kawan-kawan kita daripada institute ataupun daripada university. Okay, so that's something about myself and about my university. Okay, and that's my email address. You can have my email address. Kalau in the future, if you have something that you would like to ask, something that you would like to share, please, we look forward for all kinds of collaboration. Yeah, okay, let me start. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so hari ini, the whole idea hari ini di sini, okay. I rasa tadi pun banyak sudah dikatakan. Nowadays kita punya life banyak sangat bergantung kepada big data. Banyak sangat bergantung kepada big data. Sebelum ini memang tak ada big data. Waktu myself tengah belajar, we never kata big data. Kita kata data sahaja. Tapi sekarang lately, the trend is more on big data. Big data, very simple definition. Data tapi terlampau. Data terlampau banyak. So apa yang kita boleh buat? So today, mahasiswa dan juga mahasiswi di sana, yang paling penting bila kita mengajar, I rasa the first thing that we will highlight, what you will be able to achieve from this particular course. So the same thing I am going to apply here. Take a risk. After going through my session, after going through this particular session, selepas you go through session ini, you will be able to understand what is big data. I will try to go into very basic, because saya difahamkan mahasiswa dan mahasiswi adalah daripada undergraduate. So I akan pergi ke level postgraduate. I akan pergi ke level undergraduate. So what is big data? Saya akan buat penerangan, illustration will be made based on example. So I will give you some examples. That will be your eye opener. In order for you to understand what is actually big data. Okay, and then the next takeaway or the second takeaway untuk hari ini ialah ramai antara kita tahu apa data analysis. Tapi ada satu term lagi kita panggil data analytics. You see, data analysis and data analytics nampak macam sama, tetapi sebenarnya mereka berlainan sedikit. So what you are doing currently at undergraduate level, your focus is more on data analysis. But from data analysis, you must go to higher level later on, where your focus will be more on data analytics. So sekarang soalannya, apa itu sebenarnya data analysis? Apa yang kita akan dapat selepas menjalani data analysis? And then what kita akan dapat selepas menjalani data? So I will be sharing some analytical tools, some data analytical tools to deal with this big data. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, application part. Where this data, big data and data analytics are applied. Di mana gunanya data analytics? And untuk apa gunanya data analytics? So definitely the third takeaway for all of you will be some practical examples, applications of how big data is used today to deliver real value. Because this data comes with value. The problem here is we have to apply some tools on this data. Kita kena apply some tools to this data untuk memahami mereka. Data ini tak boleh bercakap. Kalau data boleh bercakap, apa gunanya kita apply tools on data, on observation? Masalahnya data tidak boleh bercakap. Bila data tidak boleh bercakap, kita terpaksa bawa tools untuk apply dalam data tersebut supaya kita dapat memahami message data tersebut. That's the whole idea. Okay, so these are the 3 takeaways that you will be gaining, after going through this 1-hour session. Yeah. Okay. So maybe what I do, I try to make my slides bigger, Dina. Boleh ke? I make my slides bigger. Boleh? Boleh nampak? Everyone can see?
Yeah, baik.
Okay.
Lebih
Okay.
terlihat. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, big data is fueled by 2 things. So when we talk about big data, ada 2 benda yang jikalau mahasiswa, mahasiswi, bapa-bapa, ibu-ibu di sana, kalau perhatikan di sebelah kanan dan juga di sebelah kiri, the increasing datafication, of the world, which means we generate new data at frightening. Data muncul dalam segelip mata. In every second, data muncul. There will be double number, triple number, and more than that, data exists. Observation exists in couple of seconds, in couple of milliseconds, and they are existing at frightening rates. Tiba-tiba saja you rasa, wow, banyak sangat data. If you go back to the very early stage di sebelah kanan, how information is stored in the computer. Kalau you perhatikan yang piramid tersebut, we have started dengan bit. Then we have gone to 4 bits. Then we talk about 1 byte, 8 bits. And from 1 byte, we go to kilobyte. You see how data is expanding. So when we talk about kilobyte, how big is kilobyte? Sometimes students might ask me. So we understand that information is being stored in the computer, and this information is getting bigger and bigger. But can you tell me how big is kilobyte? If you draft an email, you buat satu email, you hantar pada lecturer. That particular email akan ambil 2 kilobyte. Tak ada image lah, hanya text message sahaja. Dia akan ambil 2 kilobyte. You tengok informasi yang ada dalam satu email tersebut lebih kurang 2 kilobyte. Dan jikalau anda ada lebih kurang 5 A4 paper and you buat assignment, 5 A4 paper, you tulis penuh-penuh, 5 A4 paper assignment tanpa image can go up to 100 kilobytes. Okay, and as the information increases, dia akan jadi megabyte. In this case, normally we will say 1000 kilobyte, but improper is 1024 kilobyte equals to 1 megabyte. So what is 1 megabyte? 1 megabyte is a book. The information that you have in a book is considered in megabytes. Those were the days kita akan guna CD. CD kita ada MP3. MP3 come later, but before that was MPV. MPV dia punya storage untuk kita burn lagu, dia akan ambil dia punya storage besar sangat. Then after that a new technology came, memang kita guna sekarang what we call MP3. And MP3 you able to save the audio song. So if one audio song can be few megabytes. You see how? And if you take one digital picture, that can be also in megabyte. Okay, and then it goes to higher level. 1024 megabyte equivalent to gigabyte. This is the time where you akan nampak ada komponen dalam komputer macam the storage components, flash drive, you nampak hard drive, semua boleh simpan data sehingga gigabyte. Kita ada like flash drive up to 32 gigabyte. Kita panggil thumb drive. Kadang-kadang flash drive tu kita panggil thumb drive. 32 gigabyte. Ada 64 gigabytes, ada 128 gigabytes. Bermaksud kita boleh simpan data up to that. And lepas itu kita juga ada kita punya hard drive yang dapat support up to 1000 gigabytes. So then after that it goes to terabyte. Even we also have now the hard drive that comes with terabyte. Kerana sekarang information semakin bertambah, data semakin bertambah. So komputer yang kita gunakan mestilah yang tahap yang boleh mampu save data-data yang sebesar. And then it has gone to petabyte, it has gone to exabyte, it has gone to zettabyte, yottabyte, and now brontobyte. You think so data semakin bertambah. Masalahnya, what we going to do with this data? That's why our increasing ability to exploit and analyze large and complex sets of data. So bila data semakin bertambah, now we will have challenges. Now we have obstacles. Kita akan ada apa orang kata semakin mencabar untuk kita memahami data. Bila data dalam nombor yang kecil, dalam bilangan yang kecil, kita boleh analyze menggunakan traditional method. Tetapi bila data menjadi semakin banyak, kadang-kadang traditional method pun kita tidak boleh apply. Kita akan guna ataupun kita akan apply data atau teknik yang lebih canggih, yang lebih hebat untuk memahami data. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The problem here is how data accumulates. How data accumulates. We have many activity yang kadang-kadang kita tak realize. For example, simple activities like listening to music or reading a book are now generating data. Bila you dengar lagu, bila you baca buku, kadang-kadang you guna macam kita panggil e-book or digital music players. You use computer, you use gadgets, they play for you. You do the selection, but actually there is algorithm at the back that able to capture the behavior, the pattern of the songs that you like, the behavior, the pattern, or the type of the books that you like. Mereka boleh capture. All these gadgets able to capture. They have certain algorithms at the back. We are not realizing. We feel that, oh, kita dengar lagu sahaja. Tapi lepas itu dah habis. Sometimes you go into the computer. When you go, for example, you go into YouTube. When you go into YouTube, you akan play satu song. Bila you play satu song, and next time, after a few days, you go back again, YouTube will try to give you the option of playing the same song again. That's how it able to capture, based on the user, apa jenis lagu yang. Bukan itu saja, dia akan juga bagi bentuk-bentuk lagu yang. So that's how. So you see, data is being generated. Don't go very far. I think we always use smartphone. Actually, smartphone is like a bomb that we carry with us because it has all the information. Just imagine kalau you hilang phone, apa jadi? Semua panicking, semua jadi takut. Memang malapetaka. Malapetaka, gone case. My phone is lost. Actually, phone is considered as a nuclear. If you lose your phone, you are losing many information, and your information might leak. Another person might get hold of your information. So sometimes we use smartphone for many purposes, especially purchasing, especially social media. But remember, all data is being. Sometimes kita kata tak apalah, kita delete. Dah delete dah. Tapi memang delete daripada you punya phone. Tapi dia punya actual storage dah delete lagi. So these are some of the things that your credit card company collects data. When you are using your credit card, how frequently you use your credit card? You use your credit card to purchase what? So everything is being monitored. Which shop you will go? What are the things that you will purchase from that shop? And the utilization of your credit card, everything. So in other words, we make it very simple. It is hard to imagine any activity that does not generate. You buatlah apa-apa activity yang you nak buat. Indirectly or directly, data is being. So this is through activity data. Not only through activity data, now I am speaking with you. Things are being recorded. Things are being communicated. So our conversations are now digitally recorded. So everything is forming data. All this information, all these conversations which are being recorded, dia adalah dalam bentuk data. Not only that, you will also send some emails. Okay, some emails. Okay, and these emails will leave digital. So everything, whatever you convert, whether it is in the form of a video conferencing, it is in the form of emails, I rasa ramai antara kita suka Facebook. Ramai antara kita yang suka Twitter. Banyak conversation berlaku. But all this will leave the digital. Even sometimes phone conversation, without you realizing, the phone is actually record. The phone, you have all kind of softwares to actually record. And you can hear that, and all this accumulates to data. All this accumulates to data. You see, like just now, tadi you perhatikan activity kita, activity seharian kita. Sekarang conversation seharian kita. And the next one, you are talking about photo. You are talking about video image. So just think about all the pictures we take on our smartphones or digital cameras. We upload and share hundreds of thousands of them on social media. Every second, I rasa sometimes it has come to a stage, kita nak travel hanya setakat nak ambil gambar. Lepas itu masukkan dalam Facebook, masukkan dalam Twitter. Tapi semua ni sebenarnya data. Sometimes through the photo, through the video, that's why there are some tools. For example, a person wants to understand you. By looking at the photos, the videos that you upload into Facebook, into Twitter, there are some data analytic tools that are able to digest, that are able to analyze these particular photos, these particular videos, and lepas itu, through this analysis, kita boleh tahu apa jenis orang. Gitu. So it has come to that particular stage. Whatever tools you apply on the video that you have uploaded, on the photo, this is what we call unstructured data. So when you already apply into this unstructured form of data, the analytics, the analysis will be able to tell to some extent what is the outcome, but also depending what exactly you want. And also the CCTV cameras, many images will be taken, many videos will be taken, and lots of images, videos will be uploaded into YouTube. All this form lots of data. Okay, and now this is very good. Maybe I will come back to this. Okay, never mind. I go into sensor data. I think students, I will go into this. I'm sure you have heard of the Internet of Things data, IoT. Okay, the Internet of Things. This is now the current scenario. This is the current research. In fact, here in the university, we will run or we will offer the final year projects. That means students, they will get the opportunity to apply their knowledge into application. So banyak application yang mereka boleh pilih under the category of computer science. So one of the category ialah Internet of Things. So when we talk about Internet of Things, what is Internet of Things? We can have smart TVs, we can have smart light, we can have smart home, we can have smart watch, we can have smart fridge. Why? Because these devices able to communicate with your phone. These devices able to communicate with your phone. And in these devices, kita sudah ada sensor. Why you need sensor? Because sensors are the one that will collect data, install the data in these devices, and be able to retrieve the data. We means the phones able to communicate. That's why sometimes, you're able to use your phone to control many devices. This is part of Internet of Things. Why? Because the sensors are communicating. So sensors from the device will actually trigger the device to work. Like for example, now we talk about smart light. When we talk about smart light, bila dia jadi malam, sensor akan deactivate. Sensor will get activated. So bila sensor get activated, sensor akan tahu sekarang sudah gelap. So masa untuk beritahu device switch on the light. You see, that's how it communicates. And you also, through your phone, able to communicate with these devices. Bila nak on, bila nak off. Nak buat timing, pukul berapa nak on, pukul berapa nak off. So at this point of time, Internet of Things is one of very upcoming research activity. Because this one is people's life. So that's why this incorporates of sensors. Like now, if you talk about smart parking, sometimes you go into shopping mall. Bila you pergi ke shopping mall, sometimes you don't know where to park your car. You know, you are already at the shopping mall. You already gone into the parking lot. But now, you have to spend some time to make few rounds at the parking lot. Buang masa. I think each and every one of us, itu tak ada masa. Masa berjalan sangat pantas. So kita terpaksa berjalan dengan masa. So how can we come up with a device, that incorporates many other technologies? The GPS will come in, the IoT will come in, your mobile computing will come in. How can we integrate these particular, what we call technologies in order to make our life? Supaya kita dapat tahu, masuk saja kita dapat tahu mana parking available. Are you seeing? So it has gone up to that stage. So after knowing all this data, how data can be created, that's how we able to basically tell what is actually data. Wait, something is on my screen. I can't see the. Wait 1 minute. Yeah, students. I just want to minimize. Okay. Okay. So big data is a collection of large data sets. Large bermaksud besar. Macam apa saya kata tadi, kita dah tahu macam mana data boleh timbul. Kita dah tahu apa aktiviti dia, apa conversation dia, apa foto, video dia, apa IoT, apa sensor, everything we dah tahu. So these large data sets cannot be processed using traditional. Memang ada banyak traditional methods, tapi traditional methods no way can analyze. Because data increasing every millisecond. So in other words, big data involves data produced by different devices and applications. You have seen another definition of big data. Big data is a term used to describe a collection of data that is huge in size and yet growing exponentially with time. So these are all different definitions of data. And if you go to the left, pergi ke sebelah kiri, big data is one of those things and is completely transforming the way we do business and is impacting most other parts of our life. So student, very important here is the business. Everyone is involved. You might have a small business that you are running. You might have a very big business that you are running. But now, to get hold of your business, to understand your business, to improvise your business, to enhance your business, to know what is wrong with your business, everything is through data that you collect in associate or in regards with your business. Bila kita ada business problem, untuk memahami business problem, you terpaksa memahami data-data yang you sudah collect berkaitan bisnes tersebut. So bila you dah collect data-data berkaitan bisnes tersebut, then the next is how you can bring appropriate tools. Dia ada banyak tools, ada banyak pilihan tools. Tapi mana tool yang appropriate? You guna tool tersebut, you analyze you punya. Dan bila you analyze you punya data menggunakan tool-tool yang appropriate, baru you akan memahami macam mana nak solve problem business. That's the whole idea. That's what we are doing. That's what they said. These data analytical tools are being applied to understand the pattern, the behavior of the data, so that decision making can be made, or a good decision can be made. That's the whole idea. Okay, so that's the one. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, trying to go slightly detailed before I go into the data analytics tools and also the application part. Big data ada 5 komponen. But what you can see now, sebenarnya hanya 4. Apa yang you boleh perhatikan sekarang, you nampak 4. Big data definition, definitely the first one is what we call the volume. Remember we were talking about volume? Data is actually increasing in numbers, from kilobyte to next level, then to next level, then to next level. We have kilobyte, we have megabyte, we have gigabyte, we have terabyte, and so on. That's what we call volume. The next one is what we call velocity. You tengok, bila you bercakap dengan kawan you, satu benda, tapi kawan satu lagi sudah tahu apa you bercakap. That's velocity. When you post something on social media, it becomes viral very fast. That means you see how the message travels, how the data travels, how the information or observation travels. That's what we call velocity. Okay, student? And then the next one is variety. Variety, macam you tengok tadi. We have like text messages. That is one form of data. When we talk about text messages, when we talk about photo messages, I mean photos, when we talk about video, that's what we call unstructured data. That means we are talking about type of data. Variety means type of data. So you talk about unstructured data, but to analyze unstructured data, bukan senang. That's where the machine learning comes. You see, I'm sure you have heard of this. Some data mining tools, some machine learning tools. That's how it comes and analyze this. Another type of data is structured, numbers. You are dealing with numbers based. Numbers based, very easy. Easy in the sense, logically you boleh faham. But when you talk about unstructured data, that's where some challenges, some obstacles, what type of data what type of analytical tools to be chosen. And what it definitely when you're going to choose is based on what you want to find. That's the whole idea. So that's why here in our real life, we are dealing almost with 80%, even more than that, unstructured. Like now you are observing someone. For example, now you're looking at me. You're actually trying to observe me, what type of person I am. I am delivering my knowledge. I am sharing my knowledge. Kita nak memahami orang tersebut. This is also part of analytics. But what tools you can actually apply? You're collecting the data by looking at the face, by looking at the facial expression, by looking at the body language. Banyak benda kita. Tapi apa dia punya tool yang kita boleh guna untuk analyze images macam? This is what we call the unstructured filter. Okay, and then the next one is veracity. Veracity bermaksud kadang-kadang bila kita kumpul data atau bila kita collect data, bukan bermaksud semua data hebat-hebat berlaku. Semua data dalam bentuk yang bagus. Tak ada. Ada kadang-kadang data dalam bentuk outlier. I rasa mesti dalam mathematics you ada pernah belajar what we call outlier. Outlier is something, that is something wrong with the data. Why suddenly I am getting this data? Okay, same thing goes here. Sekarang when I show my face, I am actually basically from my facial expression, from my body language, You boleh memahami macam tiba-tiba I buat muka macam ni, buat macam ni. That means something wrong already. Why suddenly the person did that? This is what we call the veracity. The different type of data is coming into. That means it's a orang kata tidak sepatutnya behavior itu berlaku. Tetapi mengapa behavior itu berlaku? Mengapa data itu tiba-tiba muncul? Sepatutnya data itu tak boleh muncul. In statistics we call missing values. Missing values. So refers to the messiness. That's why they call messiness. Data tu tak teratur. So that's why we learn in our what we call undergraduate. Okay, what we do, we collect data. But when we collect data, actually, there is another level, what we call, we need to basically, what we call, transform the data into the data that is required for the analysis. That means you can filter it. You have to do some filtration and you can tengok mana data yang tak bagus and mana data yang bagus. Data tak bagus tu memang messiness. That means you will not get the correct output. So that's what they call veracity. You can get data in missing form. You can get data that not supposed to be part of the actual data that you have collected. But now when you have all this, the question here is definitely what I told you earlier. Banyak volume, banyak veracity, type of data, you dah collect. Masalahnya macam mana? Apa challenges? Satu ialah kita nak capture data. How can we capture this data? That's one of the challenges. Not easy to capture data. Everyone, in the university, we can say students, okay, you have to do collection of data. So I think the normal platform they will apply is questionnaire, interview, observations, or maybe some other method. But not easy. There are many other methods, but not easy to capture data. And then the next one, that is capturing. How to look for the appropriate data. How you have a problem, business problem that you are dealing. How are you going to look for the appropriate data, search data? How are you going to transfer this data? Sometimes you have very big volume of data. How can we transfer? That's why we need to use maybe we cannot use normal devices. Can we email the data? Email might not support the big storage of data. So how can you transfer the data? So these are the things, that comes into the mind when you are dealing with big data. How to analyze, that is the most crucial part. How to analyze. One is how to analyze. Another one is what exactly you want to know after analyzing. And what are the tools to be applied? And then how you do presentation. How you do the sharing of your data. Things are becoming bigger. How you going to store your data and how you going to cure your data. Curation is what I spoke earlier, the missing value, the filtering that you have to conduct. Sometimes when you collect data, suddenly some data are missing from that. So how are you going to cure that? How are you going to keep your data? So these are some of the challenges that you will be facing. So when you have the 4 elements yang kita sudah bercakap tadi, in terms of volume, in terms of velocity, in terms of variety, in terms of veracity, kita dah tahu apa sebenarnya big data. Kita sudah tahu apa challenges yang kita face dengan big data. Now next, this big data going to bring value. You see? This big data is actually bringing value. Masalahnya, like what I told earlier, semua observation, semua data-data ini sebenarnya tak boleh bercakap. Kalau mereka bercakap, mengapa kita nak tools? Tapi masalahnya, data tak boleh bercakap. So kita kena memahami tools yang kita kena apply supaya data ini dapat bagi kita added. I think we spoke about just some of the identification of our world. Activities, conversation, words, voice, social media, browser logs, photos, video sensors, all these will produce data. Bila kita ada data, next thing, how you can bring your data to. We're not talking about tradition. We're talking about data. So there are many different tools. Kalau you perhatikan di sebelah kiri, memang I will not go through very detail, but I just give you some understanding. We have the text analytics. Sometimes text analytics is something like that. You know, you have a paper, you know, but that particular manuscript or that particular paper, you know, or that particular article, the problem is you only have the conclusion. You only have the conclusion, but you don't have the abstract. You don't have the introduction. You don't have the other section, but you only have the conclusion. But when you read the conclusion, you feel, wow, this paper is really good. But how come, can I know more than that? That's where the text. It will try to analyze the words in the conclusion part and tell you more about what actually. You see, it has gone to that stage. You talk about descriptive analytics. I think that's what you do normally in your statistics, in your not mathematics, but in your statistics, you talk about descriptive analysis. You want to understand the profile of the respondent. You want to understand the detailed statistics, about the analysis that you are cutting out. You talk about face recognition. You talk about voice analytics. This is what we call, you see, voice is coming out. You have some tools to actually, try to analyze the voice. You have movement analytics, diagnostic analytics, you have predictive analytics, you have prescriptive. Like if you talk about diagnostic, diagnostic is an analysis that tell you what is happening. What is happening. Tapi bila you ada data tersebut, bila you apply diagnostic analytics, kita akan tahu apa sebenarnya. But if you go slightly higher, what we call predictive analytics di sebelah kanan, ya, predictive, what is high likely to happen. It is going to next stage, not what happened. What is high likely to happen? That means future. Apa akan berlaku? That's why in data analytics, in business analytics, most of the time, the analytic tools that is being applied is what we call predictive. No doubts, memang kita akan ada diagnostic kerana kita nak tahu apa sedang berlaku. Lepas itu kita akan ada prediktif, apa akan berlaku, apa kemungkinan besar akan berlaku. Then we have the prescriptive. What is prescriptive? Yang paling bottom sekali di sebelah bawah. Prescriptive is actually a combination of diagnostic, is a combination of predictive, and tell us what action to be taken in order to achieve the future. So these three last parts of analytics very important. So now the question here is the last three parts where they actually apply. Okay, before that, just give me, I still have time, right? Okay, just give me what we call, before I go into the application part, I just would like to share with you first the processes in data analytics, almost similar with data analysis. Actually, data, I'm sure you have learned about population, you have learned about sample. Sample is the small part of the population. Same thing goes here. Data analysis is the subset of the data analysis. You are just having a chunk of observation, you are analyzing, but that is not enough. You need more than that. That's why in data analytics pipeline, definitely collection of data is important. It's not like what you are collecting, but it is more than that. First of all, you have to understand what data to be collected, how this data is going to be collected. So it can be very challenging to actually get the data. And then the next one, once you have collected the data, how you're going to categorize the data. You see, categorization, because you are dealing with different types of data. You will have missing values, you have unstructured data, you have structured data, you have semi-structured, you have many types of data. How are you going to categorize this? So another challenging thing. So these are the things that you have to understand. And once you have categorized, sekarang you kena simpan. Like now, bila you beli barangan dapur. Barangan dapur you akan beli sekali. Bila you beli barangan dapur sekali, apa you akan buat? You akan categorize. Mana nak simpan sabun, mana nak simpan gula-gula, mana nak simpan garam. Sama juga lah, categorizing. Bila dah buat categorizing, baru you akan buat storage dia. Mana gula punya department, mana sabun punya department, mana ini department. That's what we call storing. And then you start managing them. And then you perform the ETL, how to extract this data. You already stored the data. How many you want to extract? How are you going to transform? How are you going to load into the model? And then starts the analysis. This is very important. The analyzing, the whole idea nak memahami pattern. Itu sahaja. Tak ada apa yang lain. Hanya nak memahami pattern, hanya nak memahami trend, hanya nak memahami apa data sedang bercakap antara mereka. Tapi masalahnya data tak nak bercakap dengan. So what they are talking among themselves, what exactly is actually happening? So that's what we want to do. But then the interpretation. This is many of our undergraduate students, not only in INTI, but many other universities. The ability to interpret is not. So student, this is very important. Many of us be able to analyze. Tapi many of us might not be able to interpret what out of that analysis, the outcome that we are getting, what it is. That's very. So you need to so-called buckle up. You need to basically increase the skill of being able to interpret, untuk bercakap, and then only comes to share. Actions being. So that's the whole idea, yeah. So if I try to make a very simple comparison here, I'm not going to go through all, but if you talk about data analysis is more on the collection, more on the manipulation, and more on understanding what is happening. That's all. But when you talk about data analytics, is on the analyzed data, that means one level higher. Kita dah tahu apa yang sedang berlaku dengan data ini. But we want to bring some analytical tools to be applied on this analyzed data, and what next we can achieve. How this data is communicating among them, and what is the future pattern that we want to understand based on the existing. And if you go slightly below here, the tools used for data analysis, I rasa you boleh tengok banyak. I will not go very detailed, but these are some of the tools. You have the open refine, you have the rapid miner, you have many more that you able to see. But on the right hand side, kalau you perhatikan tools used in data analytics, I'm sure you have heard of Python. This is one of the programming language upcoming. That's why sometimes, walaupun anak-anak kita, kids, they are being taught how to do coding with Python. You see, so that means be able to do some data analytics coding. To basically analyze this data. We have R programming. It's an open source software. We have SPSS, Tableau, SAS, and many more. Power BI, Excel. So if I put it in a very simple way, your data analysis actually is telling you what is happening. But your data analytics is doing prediction. That's why I say the predictive model is very important. It is actually predicting what will happen next, what is going to happen. And then you bring your prescriptive analytics, what action to be. So student, very important. When you talk about data analytics, one is the descriptive, the other one is the predictive, the next one is the prescriptive. These three very, very important. Okay, you might be telling me, sir, can you share with me some of the applications, some of the applications, where big data is involved. Okay, the first one, better understand and target customer. So this is very important. Data analytics is involved in better understanding and targeting customers. You know, when you go to shopping mall, you purchase things. You know, there are some analytical tools that are able to understand the things that you purchase, the shop that you go, how frequently you purchase. So by understanding or by getting this particular data, you know, many companies out there able to understand the behavior, the pattern of your buying. That's why if you look at the example there, telecom, you know, companies can now better predict customer churn. They know which customer to attack. Like now, sometimes you receive credit card callers. I mean, bank will call you. They will offer you credit card. Why? Sometimes kita akan kata, mengapa selalu ada bank telefon kita untuk dapatkan credit card? They already know the behavior of it, the spending behavior. They already know. They know how much limit to be given to you. And they also know whether you are good paymaster or not. Memanglah itu sangat penting. Hanya guna sahaja tapi tak bayar tak boleh. Whatever you purchase, you mesti kena bayar. So that, but they able to understand. That's why you said retailers can predict what products will sell. They can know. Customers, they like what type of products. So we try to emphasize more on getting those products. The shopping patterns, what's customer preference? This is what we call customer segmentation. They use the words customer segment. This is where the correlation involved, the regression involved in terms of their purchase history, in terms of their profile info, behavior on social. You know? Okay. For example, now car insurance companies. They also want to understand their customers. You know, how they drive. You know, if every time they keep on claiming insurance, tak ada mana-mana company nak bagi insurance pada customer tersebut. So all our data is being stored. Students, all our data are being stored. You go to one hospital today, you know, you have been diagnosed this a problem or this disease. Even if you go to another hospital, that hospital able to retrieve the data based on which hospital you have actually gone. So it has gone to that stage. Okay, so the first practical example is to understand and target customer. Again, it's a business related problem. And then the next one is basically understand and optimize business process. How do you optimize your business? That's the whole idea. That's why some predictive models are involved. Like if you talk about supply chain, you talk about sending one item to another item. How things can be optimized? That means we are talking about logistics. We are talking about transportation. How to avoid congestion? You know, if you're talking about in a busy city, how can we use analytics to actually inform these people to avoid congestion? I don't want to come and to be part of the traffic. How to make the transportation run smoothly? So how to basically deliver, if you talk about logistic companies like DHL, you know, like FedEx, many more, they have their route to deliver their items. How to optimize the delivery of the item? Like now, you are coming from your house to the university. There are many ways for you to come. You know, there are many transportation for you to use. How do you optimize? You look into the costing. How do you optimize? You look into the distance. Berapa jauh, berapa dekat. You see, this is what we call optimization. So there are some data analytics, some predictive models, some predictive tools, some prescriptive tools to basically optimize this business. Okay, very important, improving health. This is also very important. Why we need data analytics on improving health? because we able to understand the new cures. Macam mana nak bukan membaiki biasanya membaiki barang. Kalau you ada apa-apa disease, macam mana you nak apa orang kata merawat? Yes. Macam mana nak merawat disease tersebut? Bukan membaiki ya. Merawat disease tersebut. Tapi how you can cure? What will be the new cure? Okay, how you able to predict the disease pattern? Like for example, I don't go very far. My father was diagnosed with what we call one type of a cancer, and doctors, they were not very sure what type of cancer it is. You see, so what they did is they want to understand. They took the blood cell, they ambil sampel darah, lepas itu dia apply some analytical tool to understand the behavior of the cell darah. Macam mana darah tu sebenarnya behave, macam mana sel-sel darah tu behave, jepisan kecil-kecil. And from there, they able to predict what is. So you see, technology has gone to that level. Don't go very far. Sometimes you guys will be wearing watches. You wear smart watches. Why? Because you want to see the connection between your lifestyle and the disease. Sometimes we want to see, in terms of what we call our oxygen level in the body. We want to see the pressure in our body. So these are some of the things that able to relate with our health. But you are using some devices to collect data. Why we are using smartwatches? Not to say, wow, my watch is fantastic, very nice. No, it is actually collecting data. It is collecting data to some extent. If you can retrieve that data and you have some tools, you can apply that tools on this data to understand your lifestyle connection or relationship with your health. So you see, so you can do some monitoring, you can do some prediction. So these are some of the things, yes, student. And then definitely improving security and law enforcement. This is also very important. Very important. Like if you look at the third point there, credit card. You talk about fraudulent transactions. Sometimes you never use a credit card, other people have used. So how to trace that? How to avoid that? So these are some of the things that you can actually apply. So you have data analytics, and these are the application part of it. I cannot be taking so much of time. Yeah, it's already 10:40. Okay, so these are some of the application part of it. Okay, and then the next one is also improving sport performance. Very important. This one, those people like sportsmen, sportswomen, they are basically connected with data analytics. Because there will be some devices attached to them. That means whatever they do, their lifestyle, their what we call their exercise session, or whatever things that they do that comes under the umbrella of sports, all the data being captured. And now we want to understand the performance of this player. Very important. There are some sensors, sometimes like you talk about basketball, you talk about golf balls, they look at the movement, how the person actually moved this ball, how the person actually hit the golf ball, how the person actually moved the basketball around. So all this what we call movement analytics. So when movement analytics, based on the sensor technology, because the sensor will actually collect the data, and we will be able to retrieve the data. This data is based on the movement. So we want to understand very detailed about the movement of the person we call movement analytics. So you see here, students, there are many different analytical tools available. But what you want? That's the question. So whenever you come to a stage that I want to analyze my data, the first thing you must know what exactly you want to do. What exactly you want to do, what you want to find out. And based on that, what data to be collected. And how this data can be collected. And then what is the appropriate tools to be employed. to be applied into this data, and finally you will get your interpretation. So this is another practical example, improving and optimizing cities and countries. This is another good example. It allows cities to optimize traffic. Remember, we were talking about transportation just now. You know, we were talking about some logistic companies. They are sending their items here, there. We are talking about the movement of vehicles in the city. So how you can actually optimize and how you can make that city as a smart city. So things are being worked. Okay, students. Okay, so if I try to wrap up, okay, top 14 application of data analytics to look out for in 2022. I have not inserted any papers here. Okay, but if you are very much interested on business analytics, on data analytics, you know, definitely one thing is to understand the tools. You know, but tool is not like in one session you will be able to understand the tools. No, you have to experience with the tools. Like what I said, the Python, the R, you know, and then the SPSS and many more other tools. But the area that you can look at is number one, the transportation. Okay, this is important. Okay, number two, logistic and data. This is the second area, the top 14, I mean, within the top 14 applications. And then you go into the next one, web search or internet web. Students, have you noticed that when you hit the search button, you are looking for something. When you hit the search button, the algorithm, the data analytics algorithm in Google, in Yahoo, able to tell you the appropriate search. That means the best search point. Based on your one word, they're able to optimize. They're able to find the best search for you. Not only that, next time you go back again, they will give you the same, because they already understand what type of person you are and what type things you are looking. Not only that, you might be looking on your web, but sometimes when you open your Facebook, you might get the same advertisement. You see? You see, they are encouraging you. Maybe you want to purchase something, you have gone into the web stage or internet web results, or you have gone into Amazon. But now when you open Facebook, whatever you were looking at Amazon, basically the same thing is appearing in your Facebook. You see how optimization. You see, so that's why sometimes you say, hey, I never looked this on Facebook. Why suddenly I'm getting this advertisement? Actually, you have seen in another web browser, maybe Amazon, maybe what we call eBay or any other. See, so this is important. Manufacturing, also very important industry. I know. So how data analytics can be actually applied to optimize their operations in terms of the supply coming, in terms of the demand. Okay, how they optimize that. Security, I think we have seen just now. This is also very important, security. And then the next one, definitely the very upcoming education. Education is very, very. You see, to understand, students' preference, to understand or to what we call offer the courses which are on high demand, the courses that able to deliver, to students' expectation, how innovation can be brought into teaching and learning, everything in education. So what are the appropriate analytical tools to streamline, to innovate the teaching and learning and make our students happy? The whole idea is how to attract more students to our university. That is a moral of the story. How can we bring more students to our university? To bring more students to our university, you have to tackle them. You have to offer them what they want. So how to understand that? Definitely many things. One of that is definitely education. And then healthcare, I think I have spoken earlier, very important. military is also. So these are some of the areas or some of the applications. And if you go to the next one, insurance. This is also insurance companies are applying data analytics to understand their customer. Not simply they will choose their customer. No, they also, like now, you're going to take an insurance. They also must understand, your so-called your risk element in you. That means whether you have any diseases or not, whether you have any problem or not, whether how old are you. So many things. All these are in the form of data. And then only they will be able to tell you how much is the optimized price you have to pay. Your digital advertisement. Sometimes we say, is it good if you advertise or you come up with billboard at every corner of your places? Not necessarily. Sometimes kita kata lebih banyak advertisement, lebih bagus. Tapi lebih banyak advertisement, lagi banyak cost. Tapi mana kita nak letak advertisement supaya kita dapat optimize apa yang. So not necessarily we have to come up with many number of advertisements. Here billboard, there billboard, the other side billboard. No, you only need few billboards. But where are the strategic locations for this billboard? And then definitely fraud and risk detection. We were talking about credit card just now. Okay, these are some of the things. And the last three, traveling. Many of us, we like to travel. I see. So the travel agencies, they want to understand your traveling behavior. They want to understand your traveling preferences. They want to understand what are the packages that you like. Because some of us, we like to go this area. We don't like to go that area. We want to see fish, but we don't want to see chicken. You see, many things happening. So data analytics. Communication, media, and entertainment. This is another one. Okay, and then comes to the last one, energy. So mahasiswa dan juga mahasiswi. So what you have learned today, based on the session that I have shared with you, is basically, I hope you know from the very big picture what is actually big data. I have given you some examples to understand this big data, how data accumulates. Okay, and then you have gone into the next stage, how the data analytics can come in. I mean, definitely I have not gone detail into the types of data analytics, but I have given you what we call the opportunity to know. I've given you, I have informed you what are the things required. So like if you have the chance to go and do your programming in terms of learning Python, in terms of learning R programming, in terms of learning SPSS, Tableau, they are all part of data analytics tools. This will be very, very, in time to come. Okay, so some practical examples I have shared with you, some practical applications I have shared with you, and these are the top 14 applications. If you are the one who really looking forward from mathematics, you want to go into data analytics, definitely you need to have the very simple understanding about data analysis, and slowly you expand, you masuk ke dalam data analytics tools itu, and how you can bring all the programming to support you. That's the whole idea. Okay, so I'm so sorry if I have taken so much of your time, and I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much for being my good audience. Thank you so much, and definitely I will stop here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Terima kasih. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you, Dr. Narin. Your presentation is interesting, so it's helpful for our students to understand about big data, the correlation with the analytics, the data analysis is totally different. So it's very helpful. So actually, I will open question first for our student, maybe from our colleagues also. If there is any question for Dr. Narin, please you can text in the chat. Anda boleh menuliskan di chat, atau boleh juga open mic secara langsung, tapi jangan lupa untuk mahasiswa Anda harus menyebutkan nama dan NIM-nya. Nah, ya supaya dikenal nih. Boleh open cam sama open kamera, silakan. Oke, silakan, Lim. Roy Marcelino, silakan. Bisa open mic-nya.
Cek. Masuk.
Boleh. Ya, masuk. Silakan.
Oke, bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris?
Boleh bahasa Inggris, boleh bahasa Indonesia. Dr. Narin tidak keberatan. Ayo, oke.
Boleh.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Marcelino. And my question would be, what's the difference between data science and data analytics? Yeah. What I do, yeah.
Okay. Boleh dengar suara ya?
Boleh.
Okay, a very good question from you. You see, when data science is a very big picture. Data science is a very big picture. Data analytics is part of the data science. Tapi lebih kepada specialization. Okay, data science macam I kata population. Dia benda yang sangat besar. Dia meliputi banyak bidang-bidang yang lain. Data analytics adalah satu bidang dalam bidang data science yang dapat membantu kita untuk memahami data. That's how I can explain.
Ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan, Roy?
Berarti kalau data analytics itu kan merupakan subset dari data science, subset of data science. Then what's the other?
Kalau you perhatikan dalam data science kita ada machine learning techniques, kita ada data mining techniques, kita ada data analytic techniques, dan ada banyak benda-benda yang lain, which doesn't come under the category of statistics, but it comes under the category of science. So hari ini fokus ialah lebih kepada data analytics, bukannya kepada machine learning, bukannya kepada data mining, dan bukannya kepada bidang-bidang data science yang.
Data science doesn't use any machine learning algorithms or any AI algorithms then?
Yes, you can. When you talk about data science, machine learning comes in. You talk about artificial intelligence techniques comes in, and also some other techniques, that you want to use in order to understand the science of the data. But when you want to specialize in terms of understanding the behavior, the pattern of the observations, then you go particularly into the data.
Okay.
Sudah paham?
Dah, cukup.
Terima kasih. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Narin. I think there is another student that want to. There is 3 students more. Okay, Fahrel silakan. Fahrel Gibran Algani, boleh open mic-nya.
Tes. My voice. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so my question is, as previously explained, now almost all of our activities are recorded and tracked by the system. In response to this, is there something dangerous that may be threaten us, sir? Thank you.
Sorry. I didn't get.
Boleh diulang lagi, Farel?
Okay.
Perlahan sedikit.
As previously explained, almost all of our activities are recorded and tracked by the system.
Okay.
Yeah, in response to this, is there something dangerous that is maybe threaten us, sir?
Definitely, what are things being recorded? Everything can be in a danger form to you. But depending what are the things
Farel boleh jelasin deh pertanyaannya.
So like recently in Indonesia, there is data leak, like our number of identification. Is this have any correlation with big data, sir? Because the security or maybe anything else?
No, you see, if you try to put it in a very simple way, why data leak happened? Maybe some of the data analytical tools that have been applied, not up to the very enhanced version. It was not able to tell the user or the consumer or the organization itself that there will be a data leak. So sometimes it is also very important to basically make sure the appropriateness of the data analytical tools being applied. Are they at the enhanced level? Macam sekarang bila kita pakai software, ada software hanya boleh tackle at one level. But we also have the enhanced software where it can go to the next level. So when we use the better software, it able to trigger us, it able to warn us, please be careful, there might be a data leak. It can give you an early warning. So there could be a possibility that the analytical tools that are being applied may be not at that level, and it failed to trigger the person or the organization or the institute that this data leak can happen. We talk about fraud detection system, same thing. That means there is no a barrier, in terms of securing the data. So when you have a proper data analytics, you have a proper software, you're able to make sure that the data leak, will not happen. So when this thing happens, that means there has a possibility that the data analytical tools or the software that has been applied not able to control the data. Definitely, it has to go with, like now, to understand why the data leak happened. That's where the data analytics, big data comes in. Definitely there are the software or the system that have been implemented to understand how this data leak happened. I mean, this is to improvise. Yeah, this is to improvise. Where was the loophole? Where was the gap? Mana sebenarnya gap berlaku kerana data leak berlaku. So apa kita boleh buat, untuk memahami data-data yang kita sudah ada sewaktu data leak berlaku tu, supaya kita boleh datang with something more enhanced version software or more enhanced version analytical tools to understand the behavior. Kita nak tahu mana sebenarnya benda yang tak sepatutnya berlaku. So definitely data analytic tools will come in to analyze the data that has been collected before the data leak.
Thank you, Dr. Narin, for your answer. It's nice. Oke, sudah jelas ya, Farel ya?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the answer.
Hey, thank you so much for your very valuable question. Yeah, thank you so much.
Oke, Gani silakan kalau mau bertanya. M. Gani Arya Suta.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. It was a very interesting presentation, but I have a small question. That is, while the presence of big data sure has contributed a lot for the advancements of technology and even our society in the broader spectrum, it sure has taken a hit on our privacy, our concept of privacy, like those Internet of Things where items like even television or even refrigerator, fridge like that can collect data from us and send them off the server somewhere else. For me, that is a very scary, very frightening notion. So now, like every single corporate out there is trying to collect data from us to profile us for the benefit of themselves. So will there be any future plans for this ever increasing loss of our privacy, or this will become the new standard of living where we just get spied by those companies? Thank you.
Okay, a very good question. I mean, at this point of time, I think the first thing what we will think is about our data. That's the whole idea. That's why many times when it comes to a stage where we are required to give our information, that's the first thing that we will that will come into our mind, whether the data that we will be providing is secured or not. Okay, but if you try to see in our normal behavior, there are some ethics that we have to follow. Like now, sometimes they tell from your mobile, don't do any bank transaction. Sometimes they say from your mobile, don't do any bank transaction. Why? Because sometimes it can be hacked. even from the laptop or even from the computer, they can see when you go to the web browser, you don't basically go into any websites where you are sharing your particulars. But you can actually go into that particular term, what we call ignito website. That means it will not save your history. That's the whole idea. So we don't want history to be saved. Like in your case here, you are asking me, definitely everyone is very concerned about privacy. But at this point of time, you have to understand, and you have to know whether the platform where you are sharing your information, it is safe or not. If it is not safe, then you better not share your information. But if the platform, you are sharing information, you should understand, what are the things that they have embedded into the platform to protect your data. If you are quite clear with that, then definitely I think shouldn't be any problem. Because at this point of time, in terms of data privacy, in terms of data leak, I will not say that our system at a very enhanced level. Like just now, I think one question popped up earlier, data leak can happen. How data leak happen, like what I told you, maybe at this point of the time, the system that has been implemented, not able to hold the data. And hackers out there, they can come up with all kind of things. They can come up with all kind of technology. Nowadays, everything based on technology. Hackers might come up with something new that the system is not moving. The system is not ready. So because the system is not ready, data leak can happen. When data leak happens, that's where the privacy of the data privacy of the people or consumer or the organization, will get leaked. So in our case now, based on your question here, at this point of time, I think we have to be very alert. When we are sharing our data, when we are purchasing items, definitely companies out there, retailers out there, they want to understand, the behavior of our shopping preferences, for example, but again, whatever data that we are sharing, we have to be careful on which platform we are sharing. That's what I can tell at the moment.
Thank you, Dr. Narin. It's nice because our student maybe hear about the news in Indonesia about the leak of data that many happen. So especially because we're going to have a election for the president. Okay, thank you. Okay, there is a two question, but I think there is Felia Kesagi want to open mic. Okay, Felia, silakan.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Can I be heard? Is my sound clear?
Yes,
okay, thank you.
Yes.
My name is Felia, NIM 240 240 okay, as we all know that data analytics uses actual data to analyze how certain things are supposed to come out or how it can be better. And we also know that some data are considered to be sensitive, like our ID and our health record. So my question is, sir, what are the boundaries of data that we can use? And say if we need one of the sensitive data to be used in our analytics, what important points should we disclose to get consent? Thank you, that's all.
Okay, I think what was your first question? I think there are a couple of questions you asked.
Yeah,
what was your first question?
Yeah, I actually asked two questions. My first question was, what are the boundaries of data that we can use? And the second one is, if we need one of the sensitive data to be used in our analytics, what important points should we disclose to get consent? Thank you.
Okay, you see, I try to summarize that. I think you are talking in terms of the sensitivity of data, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, sensitivity of data. That means what type of data we can share. Like, for example, you talk about health data. When you talk about health data that you are sharing, and if this data get leaked to another person, that particular person will actually get hold of your disease. That particular person will get hold of the entire about yourself. That's the thing. So when you're talking about sensitivity data, I think again, we are able to share data, based on the security, functions that they have, in order to make sure that this data doesn't leak. That's the whole idea. That's how it works. You can share your data because now your concern is if anyone works to you, anyone works to you and he wants or she wants some data or some information from you. You might be to some extent feel that, oh, I shouldn't be sharing this data. Okay, if I can share some data, some of the data I will not share because it is quite sensitive. So you are basically doing the filtration. You are the person who actually needs to know if I share this particular data, what will be the consequences? Because this is very sensitive data. If I am going to share this sensitive data with me, are you having any system? Are you having, what is your, what we call things that you are applying that able to protect this particular data that I am sharing? Because for me, I feel these are sensitive data. So if I share this particular data with you, if there is a data leak, I'll be in a big problem. So what are the things that you are applying in order for my data to be protected? So these are some of the things that we also as the stakeholders have to take rule in terms of playing, in terms of securing, not to say that whatever data we share, that means it is good. There are some data like what you have referred, sensitive data, we might not share. But if happen to be this data required to be shared, we have to understand from the authorities, from the other party, what are the system, what are the things being employed to make sure that our data that we are sharing with you are well protected. That's the whole idea. So we have to play the role in this particular sharing data with another party. I hope I understand. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, that is exactly what I questioned. Thank you so much for answering.
Hey, thank you so much for your question. Thank you.
Boleh open cam kali ya?
Belum pakai kerudung sih, Bu. Mungkin saya bisa pakai kerudung dulu.
Oke, angkatan berapa?
2020, Bu.
Oke, ya. Terima kasih. Thank you, Dr. Narin, for your answering. The students very happy with your answer. There is one more question that they put in the chat. It's from Axeliano. In big data, there are a lot of component of sure as example of measuring portability COVID-19 patient. There are components such as disease, history, age, gender, and many more. How to weight each component to get exact number of mortality. So it's about how to get an exact the weight of the data. I mean, it's like
I am reading the question. In big data, there are a lot of components for sure. As an example, for measuring mortality COVID-19 patients, there are components such as disease, history, age, gender, and many more. Okay, you are talking about components. How to weight each component to get the exact number of mortality. When you say how to weight, that means, are you asking me how to proportionate? That means, what is the percentage of each component? I'm sure you are telling that. Okay, how to weight each component to get the exact number of mortality. Okay, for example here, all these components are basically coming from the same person, correct or not? That means each person will be giving these 4 to 5 components, correct or not? Okay, so it is not definitely the components to some extent are important, but again, these components that are being selected, have to come to a stage where are those components required or not? That is the first thing we have to think. It's not the weight. The first thing what we have to look at is, are those components required or not? Because when you want to do measuring the mortality, for example, you have taken here, measuring mortality COVID-19, not the weightage of the component. is actually the type of component required to conduct the analysis. That's number one. Once you already know the type of component, because you cannot be taking all the components, maybe to some extent, maybe for example, gender might not be important. For example, then why are we taking gender? The weight of gender is not important, but the type of components that we are taking. But we try to have as many components as possible, but make sure we take the right type of components in order to make the analysis. But what is important here is the number of samples, the number of data that we are dealing. If we are dealing with one patient, not enough. Try to have as many as possible. That means the number of data that you are collecting, that is important. But in the data, you can have various components, the important components. But what is the weightage of the components? Not very, very important. Weightage in the sense, what you are telling here, weightage, now I'm able to understand. The weightage here, that means if the weightage is very high, that means that component is definitely very important to be taken into consideration. So I think I can understand that. Actually, it's not the weight, it's the type. So if the component is really very important for that particular analysis, that means the weightage of that component is definitely high. You got my point? So that's how we speak. Anyway, thank you so much.
Okay, sudah dijelaskan sama Dr. Narin, istilahnya kita harus bisa memilih data yang tepat. There is exactly data which one that is important to contribute more in mortality. Gender, it's maybe not a high presentation, but like maybe disease is more about penyakit bawaan, itu lebih pengaruh ke pengaruhnya ke COVID. Jadi it's depend on data. We collect many data, but how to use it, it's more the important thing about the, that's why we use data analytics for that one. Okay, thank you. There is thank you, Dr. Narin, for your time, because the time is also up and the question is already done. So I just want to say thank you for the nice lecturing today for you. Okay, once again, give a big applause for Dr. Narin for the time. And maybe we can contact again by email, and maybe I will visit you in Malaysia.
Yes, please, please. I'm looking forward to
or
have
you can
all
go
of
in
you.
Here in Sawaran. It will be nice. You come here.
Yes. Yeah, if happen to be I am there, definitely I will drop by. And definitely before I end my session, thank you, Dinar, and also thank you to all Bapak-Bapak and Ibu-Ibu, Mahasiswa, Mahasiswi. Thank you so much for being my great audience. Thank you so much. I think this was a very wonderful session that I had with all of you. You know, for the very first time with the university in Indonesia, you know, and speaking in my broken Malay language. I'm so sorry, but definitely
it's very
I tried.
good actually. And our student is also understand. So actually,
yeah.
I think everything is nice in here.
Thank you so much. But thank you for the opportunity given to me. And once again, thank you, Dinar. Looking forward to be meeting you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Narin.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, maybe before we go to the second session, I just want to call Dr. Tengku. Do you already join with us? Hi, Dr. Tengku. Sorry, I think you need to unmute your mic.
Yes, can you hear my voice now?
Yeah, I already can hear your voice. Hai Dr. Tengku. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baik.
Indonesia.
Ya, saya di sini karena Dr. Narin tadi berbicara lebih banyak dengan English Malay, so everything.
Saya sudah prepare slide dalam bahasa Melayu.
Oke, alhamdulillah. Kalau sudah prepare dalam bahasa Melayu, ini student juga paham. Cuma apapun, at least you can present the lecture. Sebelumnya, sebelum present your lecture, I just want to introduce yourself first. This is Dr. Tengku Zatul Hidayah, We already chat and maybe by email also, but this is our first time to meet online.
Meet online. Maybe
Ya,
after
alhamdulillah
the
bisa
physical.
ketemu online ini.
Alhamdulillah.
Ya, Dr. Tengku juga adalah salah satu dosen ya di INTI University. Sebentar saya buka dulu nih.
Sama kita satu jabatan dengan Dr. Narin.
Ya, kebetulan ini satu kolega dengan Dr. Narin juga, Dr. Tengku. Nah, Dr. Tengku di sini juga merupakan dosen yang cukup lama juga ya. Beliau baru lulus kalau tidak salah tahun 2021 dari S3.
Iya, 2021. Di UKM.
Di UTM ya. Oke, jadi ini beliau juga salah satu lecture, mungkin dari student nanti akan sangat senang juga mendengar tentang apa data visualisasi kalau Dr. Tengku ini mau menjelaskan. Pengenalan. Ya, itu juga sama, tapi apapun itu student kita juga mau mendengar nih apa tentang data visualisasi. Mungkin untuk screen dan waktunya saya persilakan Dr. Tengku.
Oke, boleh. Oke, saya share screen dulu lah ya. Boleh nampak ya, Doktor?
Can.
Sudah. Silakan.
Oke, Assalamualaikum semua pelajar, student. Saya Dr. Tengku. Oke, so tadi kita dah dengar daripada Dr. Narin tentang data analytics, what is big data, what is data analytics, what is the difference between the data and also data analytics. Dan pentingnya data ni untuk kita gunakan, especially kita sebagai data analysis ni, untuk bidang-bidang seterusnya seperti machine learning, data mining, AI juga. So data-data ni memang sangat penting dan saya faham, saya concern ramai pelajar-pelajar tanya tentang security of data, leak of data. So, sama, kita pun takut sebab data memang terlalu banyak sekarang. So pentingnya kita tukar data mentah ni atau raw data ni kepada maklumat yang kita faham. Okay. So saya mulakan presentasi saya tentang data visualization ni. Okay. So first, sebelum kita faham untuk visualizekan data, kamu faham istilah visualize tu? Visualize tu maksud kita tukarkan data tersebut, raw data tersebut ke dalam bentuk maklumat yang difahami dalam bentuk rajah. Okay, dalam bentuk visual. Okay, so sekarang nowadays guys, so pada masa sekarang kita tahu untuk menyampaikan maklumat atau untuk menyampaikan data-data yang banyak ni, untuk berkomunikasi dengan orang pada masa sekarang ni sangat kritikal. Okay, daripada dulu lagi untuk menyampaikan maklumat, untuk presentasi maklumat kepada mungkin klien, kepada dalam meeting ataupun kepada semua-semua adalah kritikal dan sangat penting. Jadi macam mana kita nak sampaikan maklumat ni? Sebab sekarang ni kita menghadapi banyak cabaran untuk menyampaikan maklumat-maklumat ni, terutamanya untuk berkomunikasi. So cabaran kita sekarang ni lebih banyak berbanding dengan zaman dahulu. Okay, kebanyakannya struggle, kebanyakannya bergelut untuk menyampaikan maklumat ni. Sama ada semasa mereka berkongsi maklumat, berkongsi laporan. Contohnya dalam meeting kita berkongsi laporan dalam meeting atau kita mempersembahkan hasil dapatan kita. So sangat kritikal. Kenapa berlaku benda macam ni sekarang nowadays? Why it happens? Because we have so many data. As Dr. Narin said before, kita ada banyak sangat data sekarang. Salah satu cabarannya memang kita ada banyak data, lambakan data. So menurut daripada Eric Smith, we call it Smith. Smith ni kata dulu kita hasilkan data yang banyak ni, okay, selama dalam masa 2 hari je sekarang. Data daripada zaman dahulu kala sampai tahun 2003, data yang beribu-ribu, yang berjuta-juta data tu sekarang kita hasilkan dalam masa 2 hari je. Can you imagine that guys? Kita hasilkan data tu banyak sangat dalam masa 2 hari. Tapi sebenarnya Smith ni cakap benda ni pada tahun 2010. Now 2022. Sekarang ni 2022. Cuba bayangkan 2010 data yang berjuta-juta tahun daripada yang zaman dahulu punya data kita hasilkan dalam masa 2 hari. Jadi sekarang kita boleh bayangkan kita hasilkan data ni mungkin bukan dalam masa 2 hari. Berjuta-juta data ni kita hasilkan dalam masa mungkin 2 jam je. Okay. Cuba bayangkan data kita yang banyak. So macam mana kita nak transform atau kita nak tukar data yang banyak ni ke dalam bentuk maklumat yang boleh difahami. So semua data kita ada data raw data. So how we want to change this data, okay, di semua data ni dalam bentuk maklumat yang boleh difahami. Okay. So sekarang disebabkan kita ada banyak data yang banyak ni, okay, big data, we have all of this data and we want information from that. Everyone, semua orang sebenarnya, everyone nak disembahkan dengan atau dihiburkan dengan maklumat-maklumat, dapatan-dapatan daripada data tersebut, dapatan atau data yang boleh difahami atau maklumat yang betul dan boleh difahami. Dan data atau maklumat yang boleh difahami ni mestilah menarik, interesting, boleh menarik minat mereka untuk dengar. Okay, cuba kamu bayangkan, kamu tengok pictures, these figures here. So actually this is pictures in the meeting room. So gambar dalam meeting room. So sebenarnya dalam meeting, so whenever, just imagine. So when you are joining a meeting, bila kamu masuk meeting, kamu bayangkan apa perkara pertama yang kamu tengok bila kamu masuk meeting. Kalau atas meja tu ada kertas, ada macam bahan kertas, mesti kita belek-belek kertas dulu kan. So bila kita belek-belek kertas tersebut, apa perkara pertama kita cari? Not the words thing. We will cari benda yang penting, isi kandungan tentang apa yang dalam meeting tu nak sampaikan. Dan benda yang menarik perhatian kita selalunya data dalam bentuk visual. So kita cari data dalam bentuk visual, kita tengok, okay, trend jualan pada bulan ini menurun, trend jualan pada bulan ini meningkat atau dan sebagainya. Okay, so kita fokus kepada isi kandungan penting dalam meeting. So kalau kita terangkan dalam bentuk teks, so as you can see in these pictures here, kita akan mengantuk tengok. Okay, sebab data-data terlalu banyak. Jadi kita akan cari benda-benda yang menarik minat kita, especially dalam bentuk visual yang kita senang faham. Okay. Jadi sebenarnya walaupun tak kisahlah, mungkin orang lain lebih minat teks, lebih minat membaca, tapi kebanyakannya sama saja. Kita akan tengok benda yang kita senang faham. Okay. So sebenarnya untuk kita sembahkan data kita ini kepada audience untuk lihat data kita dalam bentuk maklumat yang difahami ni, sebenarnya sama macam kita keluar dating je. You know guys, I know every one of you maybe dating atau keluar berpacaran. Okay. Saya tak tahu dalam Indonesia mungkin itu perkataannya. Okay. So mungkin sebelum kita keluar berjalan-jalan, berjumpa dengan cewek kita, berjumpa dengan cowok, kita akan bersiap dulu. Kalau perempuan cantik-cantik pakai bedak, pakai makeup, you know. Kalau lelaki mungkin trim janggut dia, sikat rambut dan sebagainya. So samalah macam kita nak sediakan data kita yang banyak tu. How we want to transform this data into the maklumat yang boleh difahami. Untuk tukar dalam bentuk maklumat difahami, kita mesti cantikkan data tersebut. Kita sediakan dengan story semua. So bila kita dah cantikkan maklumat, dalam case ini bila kita dah cantikkan diri kita, so bila kita nak pergi jumpa dengan girlfriend kita atau boyfriend kita, pacaran kita, adakah kita menyorok dia sampai balik bilik saja? Tunggu dia datang jumpa kita? No kan? Of course not. So kita yang kena pergi sembahkan atau kita yang kena pergi tunjukkan data kita. Kita kena pergi tunjukkan maklumat apa yang kita ada. So maklumat tersebut mestilah menarik dan difahami, senang difahami. Same as this. So we present ourselves. So we present our data. So how we present our data actually? Macam mana kita nak present data? Kita nak start dengan mana? Where we want to start. So in this case, we start with focus. We focus first. Focus to the story. Fokus kepada cerita yang ingin kita sampaikan. Fokus kepada goal atau tujuan yang ingin kita sampaikan. Tujuan asal yang kita ingin sampaikan daripada data tersebut. Data yang kita ada. So how we want to transform this data into maklumat yang boleh difahami berdasarkan cerita yang ingin kita sampaikan atau berdasarkan goal yang kita ingin sampaikan. So macam mana? So kita mulakan dengan KW here atau we call it a quotes here. Know what you really want to say. Tahu apa benda yang kamu ingin sampaikan. Okay, kebanyakan sekarang kita berkomunikasi. Tapi kita berkomunikasi, kita tak fikir balik apa yang kita kata. Kita just cakap, kita just think and cakap tanpa kita tanya balik kawan-kawan kita, adakah betul apa yang aku cakap ni? Adakah okey apa yang aku cakap ni? Adakah betul yang apa yang aku sampaikan ini? Is it true? Is it okay? So actually we have to know exactly apa yang kita ingin sampaikan. Okay. So ini adalah kritikal sebab kebanyakan masa kita tak fikir balik dalam apa yang kita sampaikan. Adakah betul apa yang kita sampaikan? So sebenarnya untuk sampaikan sesuatu kita kena persoal, keep asking the question. Kita kena persoalkan, is it true? is it doing this is true, adakah lakukan benda ini betul, adakah kita sampaikan ini menjadi betul. Kita tanyakan soalan ini pada diri kita sendiri atau kepada kawan-kawan. Okay. Dan seterusnya kita tanya soalan ni, know what your data is saying. Okay. Tahu apa yang data kamu katakan. Kamu ada list of data, so you have to know your data first. So ini adalah penting untuk kita sebagai data analyst, you as a data analyst, kamu kena tahu apa yang data kamu katakan. You have to know. Mestilah, sebab data tu ialah benda yang kamu katakan, of course kan. Jadi kamu kena faham. You need to understand about your data first. Jadi kamu mestilah faham about your data. Okay. So untuk memahami data itu bukan dari segi teknikal saja. I mean, dari segi teknikal, what is data types, what's wrong with data and so on. Tapi lebih kepada menggali pemahaman tentang aspek atau ciri-ciri yang terdapat pada data tersebut atau kualiti yang terdapat pada data tersebut. Tapi tak terlalu banyak apa yang kita fikirkan tu sampai tenggelam maklumat ataupun tujuan asal kita ingin menyampaikan cerita kita tu, story kita tu, sampai menyebabkan klien atau menyebabkan orang yang mendengar penyampaian kita tu confused pula sebab terlalu banyak. Because terlalu banyak everything. Okay, perkara yang seterusnya adalah kamu tahu apa yang audience needs to hear. Jadi kamu kena faham. You have to use their language, of course. Kamu kena gunakan bahasa mereka untuk sampaikan data atau maklumat tersebut. Jadi kamu kena ambil kira bahasanya. Jadi kalau kamu bercakap dengan orang Jepun tapi kamu bercakap dalam bahasa atau bercakap dalam bahasa yang tidak difahami oleh mereka, sudah tentu mereka tak faham kan. So sama macam data. Jadi kalau kamu bercakap dengan not a data analyst, maybe data analyst will understand, you show the graph, kamu tunjuk graph, tunjuk baca something like that without explanation, maybe mereka akan faham. Tapi mungkin kepada orang awam, kepada klien, because we are data analyst, we work with company, with big company, with sale company. So how we want to present, macam mana kita nak present data tersebut dalam bentuk yang senang difahami oleh orang-orang biasa, orang kebanyakan bukan data analyst pun. Okay, jadi mungkin kita tak guna banyak-banyak istilah sains, istilah IT, kita guna istilah-istilah yang senang difahami oleh mereka. Dan mungkin untuk raja-raja tersebut, kita letak label, kita letak everything conceptual, image yang senang difahami supaya bila mereka tengok gambar tu, bila tengok visual kita, mereka tak salah faham. Okay. Jadi, dan juga kita juga perlu sediakan konteks yang masuk akal bagi mereka. Okay. I mean, relate with what they want to hear. For example, you nak present data kepada your client about the sale. Okay, so you have to talk about the sale. Kamu cerita tentang jualan ada kamu menurun. Okay, berdasarkan graf tersebut. Okay, kamu kena relate with them. Okay. Okay, so seterusnya kita terus pergi kepada macam mana kita nak faham lah. How we want to understand or memahami this perception visual, perception visual ni. Okay, dulu, back then, you know that century, pada masa-masa zaman dahulu, memang kita gunakan visual, right? Like these pictures here. So kita gunakan visual atau simbolik here untuk menyampaikan maklumat-maklumat. So gambar-gambar ni menunjukkan konsep sebenar yang ingin disampaikan. Okay? So after that, bila bahasa berkembang, bahasa berevolusi, kita gunakan teks. So we use text. Kita gunakan maklumat untuk menyampaikan maklumat yang senang difahami. So we write text. But for data, okay, as we can see here, this is text. So whenever we read this text, bila masa kita tengok teks ni, kita boleh faham apa yang ingin disampaikan. Tetapi untuk data, ia tidak membantu kalau kita guna teks. For example here, kita letakkan data all bunch of raw data there, and then kita tunjukkan kepada pembaca kita, okay, ini dapatan dia, data-data raw data tersebut yang belum diproses menjadi maklumat, dia tak akan faham. Jadi sebenarnya kita boleh menghuraikan dan memahami data-data ni semua. Data-data ini ke dalam bentuk nombor. Data dalam bentuk nombor ini dengan lebih cepat ke dalam bentuk visual berbanding dalam bentuk teks. So you know that visual dalam bentuk rajah. So you can see. So it is easier to understand. Okay, untuk faham. Okay, so apakah sebenarnya visualisasi data tu? So apa sebenarnya untuk visual data? So So sebenarnya when we talk about bila kita bercakap tentang visualisasi data ni, I mean to transform, untuk tukarkan data raw data mentah tadi ke dalam bentuk maklumat yang difahami dalam bentuk visual atau dalam bentuk rajah. So visualisasi data ni adalah amalan untuk kita menterjemah maklumat ke dalam konteks yang lebih faham, yang lebih kita faham dalam bentuk peta, dalam bentuk graf, dalam bentuk bar chart, untuk menjadikan data lebih mudah difahami dan dicerap oleh otak manusia with our brain, you know. Okay, whenever we see, bila masa kita tengok maklumat, we will understand. Okay, so matlamat utama untuk visualize data ni adalah untuk memudahkan kita untuk kenal pasti corak. Okay, we want to see the trend, we want to see the pattern, arah aliran trend tersebut. So mungkin adakah trend dia, trend menaik, meningkat atau trend menurun. So kita boleh nampak dengan senang bila kita terjemahkan data-data tersebut dalam bentuk visual. Okay, so mungkin juga kita boleh tengok outliers dalam data set kita, set data yang kita ada tu, set data kita yang besar. So kita boleh tengok adakah terdapat outliers itu. So this is very important, especially outside, then maybe we want kita nak translate data tersebut ke dalam bentuk visual supaya klien lebih senang faham trend semua, untuk machine learning to apply data, our data into the machine learning. Also, untuk menukarkan data dalam bentuk visual is very important to find, maybe for example we want to find the outliers, or maybe we want to find the missing values. Kita nak cari apakah outliers di situ. So daripada kita terjemahkan data tersebut dalam bentuk graf, scatter plot yang senang difahami, so kita boleh nampak okay, data sini kita ada outliers di sini. So kita boleh rujuk balik ke data tersebut. So before we apply this data into our machine learning algorithm, so it will be easy. Because kalau kita tidak menggunakan data yang betul, bila kita apply ke dalam our machine learning algorithm, maybe we cannot get the result that we want. We cannot predict something that we want to predict, or maybe because dalam machine learning we want to class something, we want to do a classification problem, or we want to do a regression problem. Okay, so if we use the right data, kita menggunakan data yang betul, kita akan mendapat keputusan yang betul. So that's why proses untuk membersihkan data ni, termasuklah visualize the data, is very important before kita apply into our machine learning algorithms. So you know about machine learning algorithms, right? Okay. So this visualisasi data adalah salah satu langkah dalam proses data science yang menyatakan bahawa setelah kita kumpulkan data ni, proses dan modelkan, ia mesti divisualiskan untuk membuat kesimpulan. Okay. So kita have this data set. Okay, kita ada banyak data set. Kita dah proses data tersebut. Okay, maybe we already process it, dan kita dah modelkan, then after that, so that we can understand it, so we put it, kita masukkan ia dalam bentuk rajah. We put it into the visualize to make a conclusion, untuk buat kesimpulan kat sini. So kita tengok from that. Ia juga adalah merupakan elemen disiplin yang penting yang bertujuan untuk mengenal pasti, untuk mencari, untuk memanipulasi, untuk memformat, dan juga untuk menyampaikan data dengan cara yang paling cekap. So that's why visual data adalah satu langkah yang tepat untuk menyampaikan data, untuk lebih senang difahami. Okay. Jadi mengapa kita lakukan? Kenapa pentingnya this visualisasi data? Kenapa penting? Okay, dalam machine learning, of course it is penting, adalah sangat penting sebelum kita apply ke dalam kita punya algorithms and so on. Untuk business analyst also, it is penting juga. Kerana data visualisasi data ini menyediakan cara yang sangat tepat dan berkesan untuk menyampaikan maklumat secara universal menggunakan maklumat visual. So jadi amalan ini boleh membantu especially business, perniagaan di luar sana untuk kenal pasti faktor yang mungkin mempengaruhi tingkah laku pelanggan. What is the factors? So daripada visualize, kita boleh tengok, oh okay, faktor ini yang mempengaruhi tingkah laku pelanggan mungkin. Dan juga kita boleh tengok daripada graf atau bar chart yang kita sediakan, kita boleh tentukan kawasan yang perlu diperbaiki atau memerlukan lebih perhatian. So mungkin kita boleh tengok, okay, hasil jualan pada bulan sekian-sekian menurun. So kita kena fokus kenapa dia menurun di sini. So kita go back to another visual something like that, and then we know that okay, kerana benda ni tak cukup, I think. Something like that. Based on visual, so we can rujuk, kita tengok kat situ, we see that it is easy to understand. Dan juga bila kita menggunakan dalam bentuk visual ni, data tersebut lebih senang diingati oleh pihak-pihak yang berkepentingan, especially the client. So when we present, we maybe work as data visualization or data analyst in the company. So we analyze the data, so we know what is the problem. Mungkin kita tahu apa masalah jualan kat situ pada bulan sekian-sekian, apa yang berlaku dan sekian-sekian. So kita tukarkan hasil dapatan kita tu dalam bentuk graph visualize yang senang difahami oleh pihak berkepentingan. Kerana kalau kita bagi mungkin dalam bentuk just table dapatan tersebut kepada klien kita, mereka tak boleh faham. They just see. We as a data analyst, we understand that. But for the client, they want to see something that is easy to understand and easy to remember. So apabila kamu terjemahkan dalam bentuk visual, okay, so they will remember. So next time, next meeting, they will remember, oh, last meeting we meet, I see that we have a problem in sale on February. Because just looking at the visual, hanya berdasarkan tengok kepada visual, mereka sedar, okay, pada bulan February, for example, berlaku masalah, berlaku penurunan sale. So next time meeting, when they want to recall back, they will remember, because our brain, otak kita, manusia lebih senang faham visual berbanding kepada text, right? Okay. Okay, so selain daripada itu, kita boleh faham masa dan tempat untuk letakkan produk tertentu dan mungkin boleh meramalkan jumlah jualan. So we can predict what is the next sale. Okay, so prediction also we can work with the machine learning algorithm. Kita boleh bekerjasama dengan machine learning to predict the data, what will happen next. So apa yang akan berlaku seterusnya dan sebagainya. Okay, so melakukan visualisasi data is very important. Okay, dapat so many benefits. Dapat banyak benefits daripada visualisasi data tersebut. Okay, so after we visualize the data, kita boleh berupaya untuk menyampaikan maklumat atau menyerap, get all the data dengan cepat, menyerap maklumat dengan cepat. When we see, bila kita tengok data dalam bentuk visualize, kita boleh dapat maklumat dengan cepat. It is very quick to get, rather than we put it in text, right? Or just a number. So jika kita sembahkan data kita dalam bentuk numbers atau text, whenever the client see it atau audience tengok data kita, dia orang macam, I have to think first and see where is the problem, apa masalah tersebut. Kita kena cari maklumat semua. Tetapi kalau kita terjemah dalam bentuk graph, dalam bentuk visual especially, not only graph. Visual means something big, more than that. Everything graph, bar chart and so on, histogram. So when bila kita terjemahkan dalam bentuk visual, so whenever they see that, they will understand, okay, we have a problem here. So mereka boleh dapat maklumat itu dengan pantas, dengan cepat. Jadi ia boleh menambah baik cerapan dan membuat keputusan dengan lebih pantas. So whenever the client or whenever audience tengok kita punya visual, mereka boleh buat keputusan, okay, so sekarang kita perlu buat penambahbaikan di sini, contohnya. Because they already know. Mereka terus tahu bila tengok daripada visual. Okay, and then seterusnya peningkatan pemahaman tentang langkah-langkah seterusnya, apa yang perlu diambil untuk menambah baik organisasi, for example. And then keupayaan dan juga keupayaan untuk mengekalkan minat of course, dengan maklumat yang mereka boleh faham. So whenever we present, bila kita persembahkan data kita dalam bentuk text atau dalam bentuk numbers, mungkin mereka little bit bored, bosan, because they cannot see, they cannot, know what is it, apakah maksudnya, apakah ini mereka kena cari, mereka lihat, right, when you see the slide with a lot of text, bila kamu tengok slide dengan banyak teks atau banyak numbers, we'll be bored. But then, okay, we can read this. We have to understand when we read this, rather than we see the pictures, So bila kita tengok gambar, kita boleh faham dan menarik minat kita. Okay. So we say, oh, it is interesting. So this graph is interesting. Okay, faedah-faedah lain mungkin kita boleh sampaikan maklumat dengan mudah dan memberikan peluang untuk berkongsi pandangan dengan semua orang terlibat. So you just give one visual, everyone can understand, semua orang boleh faham visual tersebut. dan semua orang boleh berkongsi maklumat. Okay, semua orang boleh give ideas what to do next. Okay, what we want to do in this month, for example. Oh, masalah ni berlaku di sini. Apa yang kita perlu lakukan seterusnya? Okay, data ni macam ni turun. Just by looking, hanya melihat kepada data kita yang terjemahkan dalam bentuk visual tersebut. And then, of course, we don't need the data scientist untuk faham semua. Jadi kita tak perlukan saintis data kerana data itu lebih mudah diakses dan difahami. Seperti yang saya katakan, as I mentioned before. Okay, if you have a data itu jemahkan dalam bentuk data ataupun teks. So we need a data analyst to analyze that data. So that's why itulah tugas kita, data analyst, untuk terjemahkan data yang kita memang dah faham dalam bentuk teks dan numbers ini ke dalam bentuk visual untuk orang-orang awam faham, not the data analyst untuk faham tersebut. Jadi dengan data yang kita terjemahkan dalam bentuk visual ni, semua orang lebih berupaya untuk bertindak balas terhadap penemuan tersebut dengan cepat dan oleh itu mencapai kejayaan dengan lebih pantas. Dan juga kurang berlaku kesilapan kat situ. Okay. Sebab dia dah nampak data tu. Penurunan di mana, where is the spike, where is the penurunan, where is trend menurun, mana trend menaik. So kurang berlaku kesilapan because they can see, mereka boleh nampak. Okay. So that is introduction. So bagaimana sebenarnya manusia memproses maklumat visual ni? Bagaimana otak kita, especially otak manusia, our brain visualize maklumat visual. Okay. Here I just want to share the Gestalt principle. So prinsip Gestalt, or we call it, kita katakan itu sebagai prinsip Gestalt here. Jadi prinsip Gestalt ini merupakan prinsip saintifik tentang bagaimana kita memproses maklumat visual. Bagaimana otak kita memproses maklumat visual. Sebenarnya penting untuk kita faham prinsip Gestalt ni. Kita tak perlu faham sangat tentang prinsip Gestalt ni, tapi kalau kita faham prinsip Gestalt ni tentang bagaimana our brain function to see the visuals, to see untuk melihat bagaimana rajah tersebut atau visualize tersebut, data visualisasi itu. Jadi kita boleh menghasilkan visual dalam bentuk yang senang difahami oleh otak manusia. Because kerana kita ada banyak bentuk visual kan, graf, pie chart dan sebagainya. So how we want to choose which one to use, yang mana satu lebih senang difahami, what colours to use and so on. Okay, so kalau kita faham prinsip ni, lebih okay. Okay, so prinsip tersebut ada lebih kurang 5 years. Sebenarnya dia ada banyak, mungkin, tapi saya share kat sini 5. Saya kongsi 5. Benda yang penting. Okay, yang pertama rajah, kedekatan, persamaan, selari dan nasib sama. So what is it? Okay, so ada 5 konsep utama here. Okay, yang pertama tentang rajah or ground, not figure or ground. Okay, ground. Okay, sebagai contoh kat sini adalah contoh logo FedEx here. So we have this FedEx logo here. So apabila kita tengok logo FedEx here, otak kita automatically will see we have 2 colours. Kita ada 2 colours kat sini, warna ungu untuk Fed and EX here warna orange. Okay, so otak kita dah nampak logo FedEx ni ada 2 colour, ungu dan orange. Tapi dalam kita tak sedar sebenarnya, dan mungkin sebenarnya kita memang perasan, di sebalik kata FedEx ni ada arrow kat sini, right? Arrow. Okay, ada we call it anak panah. Okay, anak panah kat sini. Okay. So anak panah ni sebenarnya terletak di antara huruf P dan X. Okay. Right. Walaupun mungkin sometimes otak kita tak perasan, tak sedar, tapi sebenarnya otak kita dah terlatih untuk lihat perkara-perkara seperti ini. Inilah yang dikatakan kesan latar belakang ataupun latar depan. Background or foreground here. Inilah maksud ground. Background or foreground. Okay. Benda ni memainkan peranan terhadap visualisasi data kita. For example, it is interesting. Of course, it is interesting because we live here at Earth. Kita duduk bumi, kita manusia duduk kat bumi dan kita tertarik dengan gravity. Like gravity. So gravity means kita berada di ground. So kita stay here in the ground. Kita tak terbang. So kita berada di bawah. Jadi prinsip latar itu penting. Ia berkait dengan kita, berkait dengan gravity here. Okay, kita tahu gunung ganam memang berada kat bawah here. dan kita tahu langit berada ke atas ni. Jadi sebenarnya manusia macam sedar tak sedar, manusia memang selalu menganggap benda yang berada di bawah ni sebagai foreground atau latar depan. We call it like foreground. So we see that everything that berada kat bawah here is foreground. And then benda yang berada di kat atas ni, automatically our brain we see it as a background. Atau kita nampak dia sebagai latar belakang here. So we take this, this is gunung kan, gambar gunung. Kita tukar ni dalam bentuk graf. Okay. For example here graph. So kita ada dua graf di sini. Kita ada graf di sebelah kiri dan kita ada graf di sebelah kanan kat sini. Dan dua graf tersebut dibezakan dengan warna. So untuk graf yang kiri ni warna hitam sebagai latar belakang, warna putih sebagai latar depan here. And then dekat gambar raja sebelah kanan ni, warna putih sebagai latar belakang dan warna hitam sebagai latar depan here. Okay, tak kisahlah warna apa yang kita guna pun sebenarnya, tak kisah. Any colours we use, but our brain, tapi otak kita, mata kita bila tengok untuk dua-dua data ni, kita tetap akan anggap yang berada di bawah ini, let me share. So yang berada di bawah ini adalah data atau latar depan ni. Okay, walaupun kat sini warna hitam kat bawah ni adalah data dan kat atas ini adalah sebagai background dia, sebagai latar belakang. So, tak kisah warna apa pun, kita tetap akan anggap bawah ni sebagai data, bukan atas. Kita takkan anggap atas ni sebagai data, kita akan anggap yang bahagian atas ni sebagai background. Okay, itulah penting. Kenapa penting kita faham benda ni? This is very important to understand here because ada someone try to change the principle. Mereka mungkin menukarkan data berada di atas. Mereka try because they want to be creative. Because nowadays everyone try to be creative. Okay, because to visualize data also, so it's quite demanding nowadays to work as the data visualization because it needs skills and so on also. Okay, so maybe there's someone try to change that. Ada orang yang cuba tukar dengan mungkin tukar data berada dekat atas. Okay, bukan data bawah, tapi kreatif. Tapi tak berkesan. Dia tak menjadi. Orang tetap, people when they see, mereka tetap menganggap bawah sebagai data, not atas sebagai data. Dia akan tetap anggap atas tu sebagai background. So, it will not, dia tak berkesan. That kind of creativity. So, whenever you want to do something, to be creative, to do visual that creative, different from others, berbeza dengan orang lain, you have to understand how our brain works. Kita kena faham macam mana otak kita berfungsi first, before try to do change, something like that. Okay. Then, we have another principle. So this is first principle, which is ground. Another principle, which is, this is second principle, ground. And then we have another things. I think this is a second principle, sorry. Proximity. So we know that kita ada dua set of data here, sebelah kiri kat sini dan sebelah kanan kat sini. Okay. So prinsip kedekatan here, so kita merujuk kepada elemen yang rapat antara satu sama lain. Jadi hubungan kedekatan yang paling kuat ialah hubungan antara subjek yang bertindih. Dia bertindih antara dua data tersebut. Tetapi jika kita kumpulkan objek dalam satu kawasan juga mempunyai kedekatan yang kuat. Okay, sebagai contohnya, automatically our brain will see this data on the left here, data sebelah kiri ini sebagai satu kumpulan yang sama. Okay, but untuk rajah yang sebelah kanan disebut, otak kita automatically akan see dia sebagai tiga kumpulan yang berbeza. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay. So inilah prinsip kedekatan. So we cluster, kita kumpulkan data tersebut di dalam satu tempat yang sama. Okay, so kat sini kita boleh anggap ia berada dalam kumpulan yang sama dan data tersebut berada kumpulan yang berbeza. Okay. So otak kita boleh menafsirkan dia sebagai macam tu berdasarkan jarak, jarak kedekatan. Objek yang berada dekat-dekat, it will be in one group. Objek yang berada jauh-jauh, it will be another group. So itu sama kalau kita transform. Okay, this is example for the scatter plot here. Okay, So kita tengok ni contoh scatter plot. So from this scatter plot, automatically when our brain see it first, kita boleh nampak bahawa ini berada dalam satu kumpulan dan ini berada dalam kumpulan yang lain. Okay. Satu kelompok ni kelompok yang lain, ni kelompok yang lain. So our brain we see it as like that. Berdasarkan prinsip ni, prinsip otak kita berfikir, how our brain work. Okay. Jadi inilah yang mendedahkan corak sebenarnya, yang mendedahkan pattern. Because we as a data analysis, when we transform, bila kita tukar data dalam bentuk visual, tujuan utama kita adalah kita nak tengok corak. What is the pattern? Kita nak tengok corak, kita nak tengok pattern, kita nak tengok trend. Is it trend naik, trend kita nak tengok trend. Okay. So dengan prinsip ini kita boleh tengok, okay, inilah corak data tersebut. Okay, data ni kumpulan sama, data ni different group. We can see that. And then to find the outliers, maybe you can say, oh, okay, this is outliers. Because it don't belong, dia tak berada di mana kumpulan. Okay. So we have a few here. Okay, the next, which is the third one, prinsip yang ketiga adalah prinsip persamaan. Okay, as we can see here, our brain, so what your brain telling you when you see this thing? Apa yang tak kita beritahu bila kita tengok gambar ni? Okay, yang kita tengok gambar ni kalau ikutkan semua petak, semua gambar ni, semuanya square. Everything is square. Dan jaraknya sama. Semua jarak antara petak ke petak ni sama. But apa yang membezakan ialah colors di sini. We have green colors here and we have the grey color here. Kita ada warna kelambu dan kita ada warna hijau kat sini. Okay, jadi tanpa mengira jarak, tanpa mengira bentuk kat sini, otak kita automatically mengumpulkan data ini dalam satu kumpulan. Satu kumpulan untuk data yang berwarna hijau, satu kumpulan untuk data yang berwarna kelambu. Okay. Jadi sebenarnya warna memainkan peranan yang sangat penting. Perbezaan warna yang mempunyai kesan yang sangat kuat kepada otak kita berbanding perbezaan bentuk dan benda lain. Warna mempunyai kesan yang lebih kuat berbanding bentuk asli. So inilah konsep persamaan. So you can see that okay, warna yang sama, kumpulan yang sama dia sama. Persamaan. Dan seterusnya, konsep yang seterusnya adalah konsep keempat. Konsep paralelism ataupun selari. So idea di sini adalah kita akan anggap garis yang selari itu adalah mempunyai trend yang sama atau pergi bersama-sama atau mempunyai korelasi, dan garis yang tidak sama atau tidak selari adalah berbeza. So as we can see here, 3 data here adalah selari. So we know that this data have the same thing, mereka pergi bersama-sama, and this data is different. Kerana tak selari. So we can see here, we can see the pattern here. Whenever we see this visualize things. Samalah macam ni dalam bentuk graf ya. Jadi kalau kita tengok graf here, jadi if we can see this graph, kita boleh tahu yang graf ini selari dengan sekali pandang. We know that okay, we have this parallel graph here. Jadi kita boleh faham bahawa terdapatnya correlation, terdapatnya korelasi antara data-data ni, data ni, data ni dan data ini antara bentuk-bentuk yang berbeza. Sebab berdasarkan kita tengok okay, dia ada keselarian di sini. So our brain can see it. Konsep yang seterusnya we talk about here is nasib sama. So as we can see in this data on the left side here, okay, data ini adalah dalam, kita tak nampak perbezaan jarak dia. So kita tak boleh tahu apa beza antara data ni sebab jarak dia mungkin ada sama, ada dekat. Kita tak boleh tengok dari segi kelompok dia. Okay. Sebab dia berada dalam satu kelompok macam ni. Okay. Tapi kita boleh tahu data tersebut apabila ia bergerak. As we can see in this on the right side here. So whenever this data is moving, apabila data tersebut bergerak, kita boleh tahu yang data ini berkongsi nasib yang sama. Apabila data ini bergerak dalam arah yang sama atau bergerak together, so kita boleh faham data yang bergerak dengan ke arah yang sama itu mempunyai nasib yang sama. Jadi sebenarnya untuk visualize data, we are not only using, kita bukan sahaja menggunakan pictures, rajah yang tak bergerak macam bar chart, chart of plot and so on. Kita juga boleh menggunakan seperti ini, visualize something yang moving, untuk mencetuskan tindakan percubaan untuk mendedahkan corak dan outliers dalam data kita. So we can see whenever they move together and what this data that left, apa data yang tertinggal, so data ini bergerak bersama-sama. So bukan sahaja kita boleh menggunakan data yang tetap bergerak, kita boleh guna juga data yang visual, data yang interaktif, yang bergerak, yang moving. Okay, so we have these 5 prinsip atau kita sebut sebagai Janstert, prinsip Janstert here, to understand how, untuk faham macam mana our brain works, untuk faham macam mana otak kita berfungsi, otak kita faham benda. Okay, so we have ground here, we have common fate, berfungsi sama, similarity, with same colors, and we have proximity, jarak, kedekatan here, and then we also have parallelism here. Jadi kita sebagai visual creator, pencipta visual ya, pencipta visual, pencipta chapter, pencipta graf, kita boleh guna banyak teknik yang boleh digunakan untuk menunjukkan perubahan atau corak dalam data. Jadi pilihlah carta yang memanfaatkan this prinsip actually, yang memanfaatkan prinsip macam mana otak kita perceive atau melihat apabila melihat visual-visual tersebut. Jadi kamu tak perlu faham teori Janstert, tapi apabila kamu, you don't have to understand or remember this prinsip Janstert, tapi sebenarnya apabila kamu start untuk menukarkan data ini dalam bentuk visual, you will like relate again. Kamu akan hubungkan balik, oh okay, patutlah we have to use this, kita kena gunakan ini kerana otak kita berfikir cara macam ni. Jadi kamu akan perasan bahawa bila kita faham prinsip macam mana otak berfungsi, ia will help us, boleh tolong kita bila kita create or design our visual using the data. Okay, so after, supaya kita dah faham yang kita kena faham story kita first sebelum kita menyampaikan atau menukarkan raw data kita dalam bentuk maklumat yang boleh difahami, yang dalam bentuk visual. Jadi first we need to do is we have to use the right data. Kita kena menggunakan data yang betul. Okay, seperti yang Dr. Narin beritahu sebelum ni, kita ada banyak data, we have a lot data. Kita ada berjuta-juta data, beribu-ribu data. So data mana yang kita nak gunakan untuk visualize dan sampaikan maklumat yang betul? Bukan saja maklumat yang betul, maklumat yang tepat kepada pelanggan, kepada audience. So if we work in the company, so apakah data yang betul untuk kita gunakan dan sampaikan maklumat yang betul supaya stakeholders atau pihak berkepentingan faham what we are trying to say, apa yang kita cuba sampaikan, apakah benda penting kita ingin sampaikan. Okay, jadi kita perlu gunakan data yang betul. Okay, sebenarnya scientist data, whenever they want to transform this, dia ingin tukarkan data tersebut, data yang kita ada dalam bentuk visual, mereka selalunya stuck atau tersekat kerana memikirkan data sebagai alat dalam kotak, dalam tools buat mereka. Mereka just think about data. Jadi soalan pertama yang diorang fikir, they have this set of data, dan soalan pertama yang mereka fikir adalah, kita nak tukar data ni dalam graf apa ya? Dalam bentuk apa ya? Dalam bentuk baca apa ya? So diorang fikir, directly think about that. Sedangkan benda pertama yang diorang kena fikir ialah matlamat utama diorang nak sampaikan. Tanyakan pada diri mereka sendiri, cerita apa yang boleh saya beritahu? I mean, what is the story behind this? Apa yang kamu nak cerita? Is it about what to say between what and then what data to use? Okay, fikir tentang cerita dahulu. And then selalunya daripada itu barulah kita akan membawa kepada data apa yang kita nak guna. What is the right data that we want to use? Jadi lepas kita dah jumpa data apa yang sesuai untuk digunakan, kemudian kita akan pergi kepada pendekatan visual yang tepat. Okay. So masalah yang kedua sebenarnya when we as a data analyst, because we have a lot of data, kerana kita ada banyak data, kita ada terlalu banyak data, masalahnya ialah kita terlalu terlalu biasa dengan data-data kita. Sampaikan kita jadi like a space je, jerabu data, like blind because you have this situation where you have a lot of data and you don't know what to do with that data. Kamu ada banyak data dan kamu tak tahu nak buat apa dengan data. Mungkin kerana kamu terlalu common dengan data tersebut dan kamu terlalu macam dia jadi sampai berat sebelah because you fall in love. Kamu jatuh cinta dengan data tersebut. Jadi terdapat terlalu banyak data dan kamu jatuh cinta dengan beberapa data tersebut. Kamu tengok, okay, I want to use this data. Okay. Sebenarnya ia menjadi macam like tepu. I mean saturated tepu, terlalu banyak data. Jadi sebenarnya kamu dah lari misi. Apa sebenarnya kamu ingin sampaikan? Sebab kamu nampak kita tak ada menarik, so you want to transform everything into the visual. Jadi sebenarnya benda yang kena fikir apa yang like I mentioned before, apa yang kamu ingin sampaikan dulu. Okay, to choose the right things. Jadi pada asasnya bila kita terlalu involved with the data sampaikan kita dah tak nampak pandangan lain. So, yang saya kata jerebu data. Sebab kita sampai dah tak nampak apa-apa dah. Because we are too close with the data sampai terputus hubungan dengan data yang anda miliki. Kamu terlalu fokus nak apa yang kamu nak ukur. Jadi kamu fokus tentang nak guna graf apa, nak visualize macam mana. Jadi senang untuk kamu dapatkan tunnel view. Something like infinity, tak kesudahan. Jadi memandangkan anda mungkin seorang data analysis yang canggih, yang have lot of experience. So, mungkin cara ni berkesan, tetapi kadang-kadang mungkin if you take step back, ambil satu langkah ke belakang and think back, mungkin ada cara lain yang boleh digunakan untuk transform that data into visual. Okay, as I give the example here. Okay, ini macam kita lihat kita ada graf tentang R&D spending, perbelanjaan R&D dan juga bilangan kaki tangan. So sebenarnya tujuan graf ini dihasilkan adalah untuk menunjukkan hubungan antara perbelanjaan R&D dan juga kemerosotan syarikat daripada semasa ke semasa. Itu tujuan asal dia. So we have to know what is our purpose to do that thing first. Okay, tujuan asalnya adalah untuk menunjukkan hubungan antara perbelanjaan R&D dan juga kemerosotan syarikat dari masa ke semasa. Jadi in this case, mereka ada dua jenis data, iaitu data perbelanjaan R&D dan juga data bilangan kaki tangan. Jadi mereka bercadang untuk menggunakan kedua-dua data tersebut untuk melihat trend kemerosotan syarikat lah. Jadi mereka guna data tersebut dan mereka guna this graph. Graf ni dipanggil graf dua paksi ni. Jadi kat sini kita boleh nampak biru here menunjukkan perbelanjaan R&D dan green here menunjukkan bilangan kaki tangan. Okay, so bilangan kaki tangan tu sebelah kanan here. Jadi sebenarnya most of the time kalau kita guna graf dua paksi seperti ini can be like confused, boleh menyebabkan kekeliruan lah. Mungkin kita boleh ada cara lain untuk menterjemahkan data ini dalam bentuk visual. Okay. Untuk melihat yang boleh digunakan untuk melihat korelasi yang lebih baik. Okay, ini boleh tengok ada korelasi tapi maybe confused. Maybe why ada. Okay, so mungkin we can transform this graph. Kita boleh tukar this graph dalam bentuk ini sebagai contohnya. Kita tukar graf ni dengan menggunakan data nisbah. Data nisbah antara perbelanjaan R&D bagi setiap kaki tangan. Okay, so perbelanjaan R&D bagi setiap kaki tangan, nisbah kita akan nampak satu data only. So here we have two data. So apabila kita tukarkan perbelanjaan R&D setiap employee, setiap kaki tangan, kita akan dapat satu data. So kita akan ada satu garis graf sahaja kat sini. Okay, so bila ditukar this data, manipulate this data to change and then dia visualize dalam bentuk graph, kita boleh lebih senang difahami. It is easy to see, bukan sahaja senang difahami. So kita boleh nampak syarikat merosot daripada ni merosot, tetapi kita boleh nampak ada spike kat sini. There is a spike here. Jadi kita boleh nampak ada lonjakan menarik. What happened here pada bulan berapa? Okay, we can see the time frame here. Okay, so pengajaran R&D bagi setiap kaki tangan meningkat pada sekian-sekian. So why? So we know rather than use this graph. So daripada graph ni kita memang tak apa nampak, right? Cannot see. That's why we have to know what is the apa tujuan kita asal. Tujuan asal kita nak visualize data first, and then we transform this into the graph here. And so transform graph yang lebih senang difahami. It is easy and simple. So kebanyakan masa kita boleh pakai ni juga bagi tukar data kepada dalam bentuk nisbah. Okay. So walaupun dia macam like senang je to use this, tapi ia lebih senang difahami. Jadi sebenarnya whenever you work with data, okay, don't be blind, jangan dibutakan oleh like the tunnel vision here because you have the data and you think the data is interesting and you keep doing the same thing, kamu buat benda yang sama to change this into this graph because everyone do that. Maybe you have to be creative to change it a bit to see apa tujuan asal, adakah ia mencapai tujuan asal. Okay. So selalunya perubahan kecil, sikit je perubahan dia, tapi it can make a big difference sometimes. So about this, we have to learn. Okay, so how to choose, macam mana nak memilih carta yang betul whenever we want to create our visual. There are many tools that we can use. Banyak tool yang kita boleh guna untuk create the data, untuk visual yang boleh kita faham. So sebelum ni, before we have, sebelum kita ada banyak tools available nowadays, kita guna Excel. I mean, it's still common. Sampai sekarang pun it's still common. Ramai yang masih guna Excel. We put the data there and then we transform the data into bar graph, bar chart, into graph, into scatter plot. So we can boleh ubah macam-macam menggunakan Excel. So walaupun sekarang masih ada yang guna Excel, sometimes I also use Excel. Tapi sekarang ada banyak tools yang lebih senang untuk digunakan. Can give suggestion also from the data, can give suggestion. Okay, so ada banyak lagi. Contohnya kita boleh guna infographics, bubble plots, bullet graph, heat maps, pivot charts, time series chart, and so on. Okay, and then we also can use line chart, hair chart. Sebenarnya memang terdapat banyak cara untuk kita visualizekan data tersebut. Not only to the favorite one. I think the favorite one used is bar chart. To transform. Yes, bar chart can also use. Bar chart juga senang untuk digunakan untuk tengok trend, tengok okay bulan mana penjualan menurun, something. It is easy to see sometimes. Tapi kadang-kadang kita nak guna benda lain, benda yang berbeza, something yang berbeza untuk tengok, untuk mendapat maklumat tersebut. Okay, so kita boleh guna tree maps also, scatter plots, array charts and so on. Okay. So sebenarnya tak ada spesifik kelas atau video yang boleh memberitahu kita apa carta yang nak kita gunakan dalam setiap situation. So kita ada situasi ni, apa data, apa chart, apa graf yang kita nak guna. Tak ada kelas yang macam exactly can give you guide. It will be different. Ia akan berbeza according to your situation. Bergantung kepada tujuan apa yang kamu nak sembahkan data tersebut. I mean nak transform ke dalam bentuk visual tersebut. Tetapi nowadays, lebih ramai sekarang pengkaji-pengkaji telah mengadakan garis panduan especially tentang how to choose, tentang cara untuk memilih carta yang betul, especially bagi jenis data yang berbeza. So we have a different data. So how, if we encounter this type of data, how we want to change. Kalau kita jumpa data yang macam ni, kita nak tukar dalam bentuk graf yang macam mana contoh dia. Okay, salah satu contohnya here, you can see is a graphic continuum here. So this graphic continuum is a poster actually. Ia adalah poster. Poster ni dijual dengan harga $15 rasanya, I think lah. So this poster actually is a project that is project yang dibangunkan oleh Job Schwabish, I think Job Schwabish and Sawaran Rebecca. So dibangunkan this graphic continuum dalam bentuk poster. After that, lepas dibangunkan ni dan dia buat dalam bentuk poster dan dijual. So matlamat projek ini lah sebenarnya untuk membangunkan sistem klasifikasi visualisasi data. So how to classify this kind of data, how to use what kind of apa jenis graph yang kita nak gunakan. Jadi ia boleh membantu kita semasa membuat keputusan tentang cara untuk paparkan data. Okay, so dalam grafik continuum here, kita boleh nampak beberapa cara data boleh digambarkan secara individu atau digabungkan untuk menunjukkan hubungan. Especially bila kita ada data yang kita nak tunjukkan hubungan antara data ni dengan data ni, what happens. So very complicated. You have to understand, especially you are a data analyst and so on. Okay. So here this is the zoom pictures of it. So this is example to compare the categories between what to compare the categories. So maybe this is an example of the charts that we can use to compare the categories. For example, here the bar chart, the column chart, the stack bar, and so on. Okay, so jadi penggunaan berbagai bentuk atau jenis carta dan warna boleh membantu mengenal pasti pattern. So if you, as I mentioned before, seperti saya kata sebelum ni, guna bar chart is also okay. Kita boleh tengok pattern juga. Adakah ada penurunan kat situ, kenaikan kat situ. So we can also use to see the pattern. So jadi carta bar atau histogram sebagai contoh boleh menggambarkan, pengedaran data, the data flow dari one time to one time, on this month to that month, dari semasa ke semasa. Okay. Dan ia juga boleh menunjukkan perbezaan kategori dan also mungkin perbezaan geografi. Okay. So scatter plots, as I ada contoh sebelum ni, scatter plots boleh menggambarkan data daripada satu kejadian kepada satu kejadian, mungkin boleh tengok kelompok data yang mana. Tapi scatter plot juga boleh digunakan untuk mengenal pasti taburan di sekitar ni and so on. So if you're asking me about what kind of chart that is good to use, then I cannot give you the right answer. It is based, saya tak boleh bagi kamu jawapan yang tepat. Kerana ia adalah berdasarkan apa yang kamu ingin sampaikan. Kamu nak compare apa, kind of that. So, dan kamu sebagai data analysis is the expert there. Untuk membuat what kind of visual that you want to transform your data into. Okay. So ni contoh lagi. So we have bubble maps. So actually I don't have this. Saya tak ada this poster. So I cannot see the big picture of this. So set carta ni sebenarnya tidak membentuk senario lengkap. So we have kita ada banyak lagi carta lain. So this is just some suggestion, cadangan dan juga contoh untuk menunjukkan perhubungan yang mewakili apa dia data kita, what kind of data that we use. So terdapat banyak lagi cara untuk visualize data. Bukan satu set saja, ada banyak. So if you let's say if asking me what kind of data is what kind of visual that is good for this kind of data, then I cannot give you the right answer. Okay. Jadi kita tengok. Sebab setiap visual akan menceritakan cerita yang berbeza-beza. So you are the expert there. So sebenarnya kita ada banyak alat or tools that we can use to visualize the data. So here we can see kita ada tab view, kita ada click view, kita ada D3GS, chart also, Power BI also can use Tipo. So ada banyak available tools outside. Okay. So you can use any tools to make the data, to turn your data untuk tukar data kamu ke dalam bentuk visual. Right. Okay. Ini contoh D3JS or the driven documents here. So this D3JS here adalah salah satu contoh alat visualisasi alat atau tools untuk visualize data. So selain daripada kita gunakan dia sebagai tools untuk menukarkan data kita dalam bentuk visual, kita juga boleh gunakan this website sebagai inspiration. Ini sebagai inspirasi. Kita nak terjemahkan data kita tu dalam bentuk visual yang macam mana. Kita boleh take this as inspirasi here. So jika kamu pergi ke sini, click, you go to this website, the 3GS, and then you click examples here. Okay, bila kamu klik example, dia akan pergi kepada this page. Okay, so dekat page ni kamu boleh tengok, okay, ada banyak contoh graph here, the dots, radial, maps here. So ada macam-macam cara for you how to visualize, how to visualkan data you dalam bentuk visual here. Okay, jadi walaupun kamu tak gunakan D3 ni sebagai tools kamu untuk tukarkan data dalam bentuk visual, kamu juga boleh datang ke dalam website ni dan klik contoh kat sini. You can click this example and then you can go to this website. So it can give you, then you can take this, kamu boleh tengok ni sebagai inspirasi bagi kamu untuk tukar your data into what kind of visual, dalam bentuk visual yang mana satu. Jadi kalau kamu guna tools lain, contohnya kamu guna Tableau atau BI, you can, transform according to this as inspiration also. Ini sebagai inspirasi. Contoh, this is contoh saja. Okay. Alright. Kita dapat beberapa contoh lain juga. So kita ada contoh daripada here is pudding website, the pudding pudding.co, so you can get it. So ni kamu boleh tengok contoh ke sini how they transform. Here ialah dia nak tengok, as you can see here. Now I go back. Okay. Ini adalah kajian tentang nak tengok how pocket, perbezaan pocket antara lelaki dan perempuan. Okay, pocket di seluar. So dia visualizekan dalam pocket juga data. So dia tunjuk contoh kat sini. So you can go to this pudding and you can see ada banyak idea how they visualize the data. So it's also interesting. So whenever the people see the visual data, it will be interesting. So here what can actually fit. I didn't read this in detail. So this is just an example. So if you want to know the detail, tahu detail tentang macam mana, kenapa berlaku macam ni. Ada banyak kajian lain, bukan kajian ini, contoh kajian pocket. Bila pocket antara lelaki dan perempuan, banyak lagi kajian lain. Kajian antara I see before kajian, mereka tengok kajian antara pengguna TikTok yang mana, artis yang mana naik atau popular yang menggunakan TikTok. So artis mana yang lebih popular, yang naik melalui TikTok atau naik bukan melalui TikTok. So they have that kinds of data and they transform into visualize. So it is interesting, ya, sangat menarik bila kita tengok. Okay, kita boleh nampak punya kajian. Saya tengok artis, I don't remember the name, tapi artis tu bukan datang daripada TikTok. So actually she is more popular than the artist yang datang daripada TikTok. I didn't read the detail. Saya tak tengok detail ayat perkataan di bawah tu. I just see the graph. I don't think it shows using the graph. I mean, it's a kind of bar chart, but the difference, more interesting. But from that pictures, from that visual, I can see that saya boleh tengok yang okay, artis yang datang daripada bukan TikTok lebih popular. Just by looking at the visual, I know. Itulah sebenarnya penting. Kenapa kita transform our data kepada benda lebih senang difahami, which is visual type. You can also go to this website. This is the Reddit website here, www.reddit.com, to seek for inspiration, untuk mendapatkan inspirasi. So sebenarnya bila I give this lama visualisasi for you to get inspiration, what kind of visual that you can use to transform the data. Okay, so ada banyak data. Okay. Alright, so sebenarnya terdapat banyak cara untuk kita tunjukkan data. So kadang-kadang susah untuk kita cari cara yang betul. And we have to seek out what kind of visual that we want to use. Okay, yes, because we are data scientists, data scientists, so we have to experiment. So it is same with visualize the data also. So sama lah macam untuk visualize data, kita kena lakukan eksperimen like a scientist back then. Like a scientist, using this tool, using what kind of kimia or kind of what we call it formula, and then combine with this formula, and then we can get this one. So it is same like us as a data scientist also to do the experiment. Jadi so kita dapat banyak cara untuk tukar data ke dalam bentuk visual. Beza. Okay, kita tahu guna chata bar senang difahami ramai. Sampai sekarang till now masih ramai menggunakan bar graph, bar chart to present the data. I mean, yes, itu senang difahami. The bar chart is like a vanilla, ice cream vanilla. Till now we still eat the vanilla ice cream. It is favorite now, but sometimes we need something else. We need something more attractive, something more good. Jadi mungkin kita nak tunjukkan dengan cara lain yang lebih menarik perhatian. Jadi kita nak pastikan cara lain yang kita sampaikan kepada audience kita itu senang difahami oleh audience, senang difahami oleh diri, oleh people yang mendengar visual kita. Jadi what we do is experiment with it. Try and error. Cuba lagi, we try. Okay, we have this set of data, we try to do this bar chart, for example. And then if bar chart is simple, it is the easiest one. So we can see using a bar chart. So for example, we have the data and want to transform something else into the interactive one. So we experiment to use this. And then kita tengok, okay, dia tak berkesan. Experiment again. Using another chart or using another visual. Experiment again and again. Okay, jadi actually it's just introduction to you to understand why untuk kamu semua belajar faham kenapa kita perlu lakukan data visualisasi ni. Tapi untuk to be detailed, of course you have to learn more. What is the tool, how to use the tool, and so on. Macam mana nak gunakan tool tersebut, how to transform, what kind of data that you need. Kalau data macam ni, you have to learn more. But this is the things. I think that the important things here is mana yang penting kat sini adalah you have to understand how we think using our brain. So when we understand people, bila kita faham audience, bila kita faham people, we know what to do. Okay. So what colors to do, or which color to choose, dan sebagainya. So mungkin dalam public lecture tak sempat lah kita nak cerita tentang semua benda kan, but it is just introduction for you to get the idea what to do. Okay. Alright, I think that's all from me. Okay. So do you have anything to ask maybe?
Okay, thank you Dr. Tengku for your nice presentation. Okay, bagaimana? Ada pertanyaan? Ada yang mau bertanya? Jadi tentang data visualisasi, terutama kita yang mau jadi data scientist, ya Dr. Tengku ya, harus pandai-pandai memvisualisasikan sesuai dengan apa yang dimau dari klien kita. Oke. Silakan kalau ada pertanyaan. Ini pasti ada, masih mahasiswa masih ada kan? Jangan-jangan tidur ini. Okay, I just want to ask actually, Dr. Tengku. You say that data visualisasi is part of data science. Yeah.
Yes.
For us, it's like why we need to use data visualization, especially in data science. Can you help me to explain it to our student?
Especially to the data scientists, right? For me, I teach machine learning. You know, machine learning tu terdapat banyak algorithms. Like SVM, KNN, and so on. Okay, so sebelum kita, test the data into our machine learning algorithms, so we have all of algorithms. So you have to make sure kita kena pastikan data yang kita gunakan is clean. So we have to clean the data first. So to clean the data, we have to process. Kita ada proses to input the data. So if kalau kita ada data text, so data text, how to transform this text data into numbers. Okay, and then if kita ada data image, okay, how to transfer this into numbers. Okay, after we get this into numbers, and then we another process is encoding, explore. So in the exploration, so as the visualization is included in the exploration. So you want to explore our data. So to explore the data is, yes, we can use, kita boleh guna tools untuk explore data. Tetapi untuk tengok data tu sebenarnya yang paling sesuai, yang paling bagus untuk tengok, untuk explore data itu sebenarnya kita manusia, us ourselves to see with our eyes. Okay, we can use the tools, the software and so on. Tapi untuk tengok data tu kita manusia yang akan tengok. So sebenarnya kita as a data analyst here to use into our machine learning algorithm and so on, or maybe want to apply into our data scientist. Kita when we transform the data into the visual, I mean something that our eyes can see, so it is easy. Then rather than just we put it into the table, I mean the data into the table. So we want to find the missing value. Sebab kita nak cleankan data kan, kita nak find where is the missing values. Kita nak cari mungkin data tu ada outliers. So kalau kita gunakan data tu just a raw data that is not clean, and then we just apply it into our algorithm, just masukkan dalam algorithm kita. So maybe whenever we test our algorithms, kita tak dapat keputusan atau result yang kita nak. Sebab data is not clean. So that's why we have to put it into visual for our eyes to see it actually. So when we turn it to visual, so our eyes can detect easily where is the missing values. So mata kita senang untuk detect where is the missing values, where is the outliers. So we can maybe remove the outliers, where is the outliers. Or maybe they also have some technique how to remove the outliers also. But the why is important that we visualize the data is like that, for our eyes to see that, and then to clean the data. So after we remove all the missing values, or maybe we complete it or remove the outliers and so on, so the data is good enough for us to test it into our machine learning algorithm. So that we can say that our algorithm is efficient or not. So kalau kita gunakan data yang not clean into our algorithm, then although algorithm kita tu memang bagus dah, tapi because of wrong data, it shows that our algorithm is not good. So rugilah, is it right? So because we as a data analyst, we want to use that data into our algorithms and so on. So that's why I think it's very important to visualize the data.
Ya, itu kalau yang istilahnya mau dilihat, data visualisasi membantu clean data. Ya, jadi mata kita yang harus pilah-pilah sebenarnya ya, Dokter Tengku ya.
Iya.
Karena itu yang istilahnya ini mahasiswa nih, kalau dicoba aja algoritmnya saja, jadi kok tidak tepat, ternyata kan kita antara eksploritasi, kenapa kita pakai visualisasi data, sebenarnya adalah it's help to make our algorithm decision semakin bagus, jadi nggak asal masuk semua data. Nah, itu jadi. Nah, itu kalau ini mahasiswa nih yang mau istilahnya kenapa nih algoritmenya salah, terus sebenarnya juga pengaruhnya kita sebagai data science, kita harus bisa memvisualisasikan data dulu, datanya mana yang tidak bagus yang kita harusnya pull out, mana yang harus dipertahankan.
Pull in.
Ya, jadi kalau ada visual, jadi kita tampak nih tepiannya mana yang baik atau tidak ya, Dokter Tengku.
Iya, betul-betul.
Tuh. Jadi ini mungkin kalau boleh dibilang sebenarnya hal yang sering dilupakan.
Betul-betul.
Ya, banyak kita yang peneliti banyak lupa, yang penting kita fokus nih di algoritma, tapi preparation sama datanya
betul.
jadi agak lupa.
Kita lupakan preparation tu, kita terus kepada algoritma, and then kita dapati kita punya algoritma itu tak bagus, sedangkan algoritma memang bagus. Kita sebab kita menggunakan data yang salah. I mean because the data is not clean. So that's why it's very important to clean the data first before we can apply into our algorithms. So as we as data scientists that apply a lot of algorithms into our AI project and so on. So that's why it's very important to clean the data. So data visualization is a part of you to clean the data. So
itu
it's very important.
Yeah, it's true, Dr. Teguh. That's why. Itu alasannya kenapa nih mahasiswa biar tahu kan kenapa kita bilang ada data visualisasi. It's simple, tapi itu jadi krusial dan penting karena kalau algoritmanya kita udah perfect, tapi kita nyalain algoritma terus sih. Always wrong the algoritma. Dan kita jadi lupa nengok data kita not clean istilahnya di sini. Oke. Oke, ada nih mahasiswa yang mau bertanya atau sudah pada mengantuk, sudah siang. In here is already 11.30 nih. Ada satu nih, Roy. Roy. Ya, oke. Silakan Roy, Marcelino.
Ya, pakai bahasa Indonesia saja. Terima kasih untuk kesempatan bertanya. Ya, nama saya Limroy Marcelino. Untuk pertanyaan saya itu, bagaimana cara memvisualisasikan data-data yang seperti gambar, data audio gitu, terutama untuk data cleaning itu seperti yang tadi disampaikan, itu kan lumayan susah, apalagi untuk dicek gitu.
Okay, macam yang saya cakap tadi, sebelum kita visualize data, we have to encode the data first. The first process is to encode. For example, you have the audio data, so you have to encode into the what we call numerical vectors into the numbers first. So for example, data audio, you work with maybe with what you want to use it. You turn into the lens sometimes. For example, the pictures. So you take the pixels value. Okay. So if the pictures is color, so we will have 3 pixel value, which is RGB, red, green, blue, right? So untuk data blue, untuk data gray and white and gray, so you have to do value only data gray and white, black and white, something like that. Okay, gray. Okay, so you have to encode the data first before you do a data visualization. It's not simply just from pictures you turn into the visual. You have to encode into the numbers first. So from the numbers, and then you will explore the numbers, and then that numbers, or we call it as numerical vectors, not numerical vectors. Okay, so that numerical vectors we visualize using the visualization tools. So from that you can see there is a problem maybe with the numerical vector. So you can see back after you see the problem, you can see back into the numerical vectors, and then from the numerical vectors also you can see back into your pictures and so on. So what is the problem with the pictures? Something like that.
Oke, berarti di-encode menjadi numerical values dulu. Kalau contoh outlier-nya berarti gimana ya?
Outliers mungkin gambar, pictures. You have gambar yang, if gambar colors, sometimes you have problems sebab gambar colors also have black and white, because we have black and white colors. Also, black and white colors we encode into a different numerical vectors, but sometimes for colors, because RGB, red, green, blue, we also have, white and black colors. So there, so maybe you panggil apa, data bertindih kat situ. So when we apply into our algorithm, because the data is bertindih, we want to remove that data. We want to remove the black and white because our pictures is colors, right? Okay, so that's why when we visualize, we can see which part have these things. Yang bertindih, something we can see that. Okay, so then we can remove this, and then we just focus on the colors, something like that. That is example for the pictures now. There's other things. What you have to see for audience? I'm not sure.
Oke, gimana?
Oke. Sudah jelas ya. Ya, terima kasih untuk jawabannya.
Oke, terima kasih. Jadi boleh dibilang kalau gambar itu juga kita harus color is more complex ya, karena ada white
color
and
is more complex.
is more complex karena ada white and black-nya. Jadi kita harus pilih-pilih nih yang tidak saling bertemu. Jadi kita RGB-nya kita sendirikan. Memang kita ubah dulu ke metric istilahnya, numerusnya juga.
Iya, metric, numerical metric.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tengku. I think because it's time already, is already up. Tapi terima kasih sudah mau sharing nih dengan kita data visualisasi, tentunya terutama kita untuk orang-orang yang sudah istilahnya love with data science, ya mau jadi data science. Jadi itu yang boleh kita bilang. Sebelumnya terima kasih, big applause buat Dr. Tengku. Terima kasih sudah mau sharing untuk data visualisasi.
Sama-sama. Terima kasih juga mau menjemput saya ke sini.
Aduh, kapan-kapan kalau kita main ke Indonesia, ke Semarang, atau aku
kita boleh ketemu secara fisikal.
Ya, akan lebih baik. Thank you. Sudah sorry. Minta maaf juga sering ini merepotkan Dr. Tengku.
Oh, tak apa. Oh, it's okay. Here is only 12:30. Sama aja.
Okay. Ya, thank you. Untuk selanjutnya mungkin terima kasih buat semuanya mahasiswa. Mungkin Dr. Tengku ada kata yang mau diucapkan sebelum ini.
Oh, terima kasih Dr. Dina kerana menjemput sampai sini. So, ya, satu pengalaman yang baru. So, boleh kenal dengan, doktor dan juga staf-staf di Universiti Dinaporu. Dan maaf juga kalau mungkin saya bercampur-campur bahasa Inggeris, bahasa Melayu dan mungkin bahasa Melayu mungkin tak difahami in English. I'm sorry. Okay, so maybe some other times we can meet physically and then we can share again the experience also. Because I'm not too experienced lecturer, but still learning also like you. And then for me, untuk student-student data analytics especially, it is very interesting field, the data analytics, to be a data scientist. You are a scientist actually, so you need to have a skills. Because nowadays we have a lot of data, so we need a lot of data scientists. So di Malaysia, saya tak tahu di Indonesia, I think sama. Di Malaysia, to be a data scientist is like hot job also. To be a data scientist and machine learning sama kan. So
sama di Indonesia juga sedang hot job ini.
Sedang hot job di sini. So you have to understand what is the process. I mean, all the process in the data scientist also, in data science and so on. How to do this thing. So good luck for all the students, and then hope you can get a very good life after this. So it is very, very important to be in this field.
Oke, terima kasih Dr. Tengku. Oke, bisa Anda lihat ini hot job ini kalau data scientist ini adalah di Malaysia, di Indonesia sedang booming juga, memang karena kita banyak data, internetnya juga sedang jaya, istilahnya sedang puncak-puncaknya juga.
Ya,
jadi
betul.
Para mahasiswa dipersiapkan untuk kedepannya bisa menjadi data scientist yang lebih baik. Oke, terima kasih Dr. Tengku. Mungkin untuk di sesi ini saya tutup, saya kembalikan juga ke Pak Malik. Mohon maaf atas salah kata saya dan terima kasih buat adik-adik mahasiswa yang sudah mau join. Thank you Dr. Tengku, terima kasih buat semuanya.
Oke, terima kasih pada Ibu Dinar yang telah memandu acara inti kita, yaitu public lecture bersama pembicara-pembicara kita. Jadi yang pertama adalah Dr. Narinderjit Singh, Sawaran Singh, dan Dr. Tengku Zatul Hidayah, Tengku Petra. Beliau berdua dari INTI International University Malaysia. Sangat menarik sekali ilmu yang kita peroleh hari ini, yaitu yang pertama tentang trend, development, and application of data analytics on five industries. Dan yang kedua dari Dr. Tengku Zatul Hidayah adalah tentang data visualization. Jadi kita mendapatkan banyak informasi dan knowledge. Tentunya ini menjadi satu bahan yang sangat penting bagi mahasiswa, tentunya dalam misalnya mencari topik untuk keperluan final task atau skripsi atau untuk publikasi bagi dosen dan sebagainya. Mudah-mudahan apa yang kita bicarakan dan pelajari hari ini bermanfaat untuk kita semua. Selanjutnya acara hari ini adalah acara yang terakhir, dan untuk sebelum menutup acara ini, saya sebagai MC, saya mohon maaf atas segala kesalahan saya, baik itu disengaja maupun tidak, baik kata-kata maupun perbuatan, dan mudah-mudahan kita semua mendapatkan keberkahan dari acara hari ini. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih Dr. Tengku, Dr. Narin. See you.